In the Heights and Hamilton, and I was like, oh, so just because he was not capable of doing any work that took longer than 5 minutes while he was working on Hamilton, and he just was like, I need to feed my wife.
Good enough. Well, I hope you get it, question mark?
Listen, I want as minimal of a role in this as possible. At this point, the theater company I'm with, I'm like, I'm just gonna just like put me in the background. I'm fine. I don't
you
know
love
me.
theater.
No, I love theater. I don't necessarily need to learn full cheerleading routines. And I'm like, I want to be part of this because I love being a part of theater, and I am near a mental breakdown. So
Will you have to learn cheerleader routines if you're going to be cast as the horny boy?
Possibly not, which is what I'm hoping. That's the main goal. So
there you go.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, always.
No, just go for a tree roll. Like classic.
Exactly, I'm the tree and bring it on.
In the stadium, but like whatever.
It's also, not even the third Bring It On movie, so no one can be Rihanna, so what's the point of anything?
Oh my god.
Well, someone can be Kirsten Dunst, which is not Rihanna, but I gotta say.
Is also good. Yeah. But yeah, I had to like talk to Patrick's parents and be like, you are going to hear me say some words. The words are going to
use the words breastus.
And it's gonna rhyme with asbestos. So like, yeah. So it was this was already after I made Patrick's mom drive. I shouldn't say I made, but Patrick's mom very kindly drove us to Universal Studios, and I'm like, I'm just like hitting you with one thing after the other, lady.
She was totally fine with it.
I know.
Did Mooney tell you about after you left?
No.
I did so much driving while you were here, and I wasn't keeping track of it, but I was going short like at least an hour, but usually 2 hours of sleep the entire time you were here and a little bit before. So you left, and my body was like, hey, you don't have to drive anymore. Cool? And I was like, yeah, I mean, technically. And I just collapsed into a puddle.
I'm so sorry.
I felt so sick, and I couldn't do anything. I was just like on the ground, exhausted for an entire day.
Could have chosen to go to bed early when you were here. He didn't.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know that I could have entirely avoided being really tired just because driving does take a lot out of me, but I absolutely could have done more about it, but I didn't.
What a way to go.
Yeah, but I was literally, I could not do anything that day. I just laid on the floor and complained and felt like very sick, and then slept for like 11 hours, and then I was fine.
Okay, no. I'm glad you're better now.
Oh yeah, no, very short term.
When I went to work, everyone was like, you got out. I was like, yeah.
The wars. Was everyone like seeing it on Facebook and being like, oh gosh, Vienna's caught in that?
No, I think it was just like my one coworker got like the frantic like texts, and then the message spread, the rumor spread.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people were like, oh, can I see pictures of Nintendo Land? I was like, maybe tomorrow. But yes, it was very lovely and very fun. And I guess both Patrick and I died, but we're good now, so.
Yeah, but it was worth it, because it was a fun trip.
Yay. Good recovery.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Bad.
Yeah.
But
no, yeah.
Moody's having a bad and sad day. You're tired and stressed. Ink is sick. Matt, is anything going on with you?
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I put up. Does anyone want to see the decorations I put up at work today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. We had to hire a handyman, so I went in early. Because we're all too scared to use ladders. So we hired a handyman. I was like, you can do that.
When you mean scared to use ladders, like how tall of a ladder are we talking about here?
I'm not a regular ladder, but like you lean a ladder against a wall, and then you go all the way up to the ceiling
Okay,
ladder.
yeah, not an A-frame ladder, an extending ladder.
I can do that. Although I do think I might be scared of heights because anytime I get up there, I start sweating. But I'm
They're
like,
so
am I fine?
summery.
Isn't
Oh,
it cute?
I love it. Oh, and is it for?
Oh, this
Oh,
is cute.
at first I was
Hey,
like, is it
darling.
for Pride? I see the trans flag, but I was like, oh no, just pink and blue.
No, for real.
Yeah,
Just by
No, but we.
coincidence.
these are the new Pride
Um,
flags. This is the ice cream
yeah.
Pride.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really nice.
I do get the vibe.
It
Thank
is
you.
cute.
I did go to Pride last year with my job, and we walked in the parade. No big deal. But I don't think we're doing that this year.
Nice.
We are the gayest ice cream.
Yeah,
It was-
it's
it was
interesting
good.
things
I love it.
happening in Florida this year.
Oh yeah, right.
Gonna make
now
Pride
it's Pride
probably
Wars.
pretty violent.
Yeah.
Last year was stressful too, but it actually turned out so nice because it was just like good to be around people. It was actually quite soothing. But we got to hand out like
Good.
free ice cream cards and like fanny packs with like the logo on it and like
That's
stuff like that.
nice.
It was so cute. Actually, it gave me chills. It was very beautiful. But yeah, so that's
yay.
all that to say. The pride colors are a coincidence, but you know, what a beautiful coincidence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My other update today of Patrick really, really, really encouraged me to buy a meet and greet ticket to meet Hosier.
Yay! That will heal the
Ah.
fuck out of
Good.
you.
Yeah. No, and so I need to come up with my master plan. What I think I'm gonna do is bring a skullduggery paperback and make him take a picture with it and then be like, it's yours. And if he says no, that's okay. But being like, I would really like you to take it.
What you just do is you say, "Oh, that's yours
Hey.
now," and then you start walking away, and he goes, "Oh no, I can't take this." But like you
But
don't
you're already
walk back to
gone.
him, so he has the option of keeping it or throwing it away, which most people will then default to keeping it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, it's-
and we like big brain. He reads it, he gets inspired. Next album
Can you
is
imagine the Valdug album?
Stop that.
I've been
so
wanting to
exciting.
do something like this for years, and then I was like, "Oh, the fact because like I chose not to meet him at the concert I went to, and like yada yada." But I was like, "Oh, this is a meet and greet. Like the entire point of this is
Just to
like,
meet it.
let's have
Yeah.
a chit chat, take a cute picture. I can give you a gift. Like this is like the
Yes.
circumstance where this is actually appropriate to do."
Mhm.
So I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
How exciting.
that's the plan." So at some point, I'm gonna go through all of my book one paperbacks, and you guys can help me decide which one is
Most
the
worthy.
most appropriate.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he
Which one
accepts
has
it because
Well,
then
like,
I'll
really
start
gonna stick.
listening.
What was it, Ink?
I said hopefully he accepts it because then I'll start listening. I've never listened to this man's songs.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Has-
I know.
Okay,
Gonna?
just to not saying that Hosier's music is like necessarily for you, not knowing enough about your music taste. I will just say from the Val Doug side of things, he does have a song that is about digging up and bringing to life a corpse, and then the corpse falling in love with the person who dug them up and having like a love relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
Also-
that, I was going to tell him if I had enough time to be like, just so you know, dude, I am literally one of the first people to ever use your lyrics for fanfic purposes.
Oh, you pioneered that shit.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You-
I love
You were
that.
telling me like you were the third fic that used that with a title. One of it was like you don't think it was related, it was just coincidence, and then another one only got up like 2 hours before you or something like that.
That's so funny.
Who was that? So there were two before me and they were uploaded on the same day. And I don't know, it is possible those were backdated.
I love that. I'm sure he will love it.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Also, Mooney told me that one of the songs is like a
This is not
Kenneth
confirmed.
Ray song.
Oh, I thought that's a different one. Yeah, so that is true.
And I couldn't not hear that every time I've listened through it again, and it really pisses me off. So yeah,
That's
there's that
what?
as well.
Oh, I don't know if you remember Tanith and Billy Ray at all. They're side characters in Skullduggery.
Billy Ray
What song?
sounds familiar.
You
get
probably
together.
thought he was hot.
Yeah, you thought he was hot.
I don't know.
He's,
Southern based is a big turnoff. For Southern.
Okay,
Southern
well that's about
accent
50% of his personality. So
is a Southern
He's like-
accent.
He's like
Listen.
cool Southern though. He's like
Is there
he's
Yeah.
like the guy from Justified Southern, like very
That
very
means nothing to me.
oh yeah, very cool and murderous and
I do
got
like
kind of
one of those things.
yeah, kind of longer blonde hair and you were probably like, oh, I mean, he sounds kind of cute, and then you found out that he's got like weird, fucked up holes instead of eyes, and then you're like, oh, he's so cute. So that's probably the journey we went on.
That sounds familiar. That sounds very possible.
Yeah.
Meow kitty.
So fun.
Yeah, kitty.
oh, Noodle's been here the whole time. Shinobi's right there. We are
Oh.
being supervised.
Good. We've been blessed by kitties. Wait, what?
Holy fuck.
Discord is a
What is happening?
in soundboard? This
Holy
is
shit.
new.
I think it's
Visual.
its birthday.
So yeah,
Take
for their
care.
birthday until June. No, not 19. 16. They're making like activities free for everyone.
Oh.
Ew.
So is this gonna go away then?
Yeah,
Gotta pay
in
them
June.
money.
Okay, I shouldn't commit to it then, but it looks like it is a genuine soundboard that I can upload a bunch of sounds to.
Hell yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Sad Lord.
Sorry, I
Oh
got distracted.
no.
Nobody hit the air horn.
Until we say something really funny.
Yeah.
We need a distraction
What
quick. Air horn.
Mhm.
Ghost Eater, look over there.
So yeah, to get through what we brought this up for, everybody's kind of having a rough time. So if anybody needs to duck out early or anything like that, we're already doing kind of a shorter session because it's kind of late for Vienna. But she did have a nap, so we'll leave it up to her how long she's staying awake. And but if anyone's like, yeah, I feel just really not well and I need to dip, just
We can die.
say so, and that's okay. Just everybody is kind of having an off day. I am not nearly as upset as most of you, but I am in finals week. Got
Oh Lord.
and writing a paper right now, so I am I'm a little stressed. Not nearly as much compared to you guys, but me too. So unless there's something else we want to chat about, we should start the game.
You should.
Yes.
But
Badumtus.
dangerous button.
I know.
Yeah, no, it's not great to have this soundboard so easy. So we had our party helping the clan deal with a potential threat, a threat they don't understand, they don't know about, they don't really know anything about, but other than that, seems to be hunting them and attacking them, and specifically seeming to be focusing on their ice hearts, the construct they use to store the souls of their departed members that allows them to live for a longer period of time. And because of that, they have started naming it the Ghost Eater. In a trip to town to sort of escape the battleground of the Ghost Eater, the party accompanied a lot of non-fighting civilians, as well as Chris, who maybe the Ghost Eater was after, because the Ghost Eater and its wolves attacked, and after a hard-fought battle in which, very luckily and due to a great amount of skill on your part, nobody died. You managed to bring them to town, where you and the others recovered and relaxed and settled in before the clan started making preparations for the night, and you headed off to do some exploring, talk to some people, and maybe work on this mystery. And so two of you went to the library, where you got a book on the history of tattooing, and you did research on things that may be in the woods, local legends about various monsters and causes of fear, things like that, while posing as Maurice and his niece, Denise. Um, and meanwhile, Mettle and Isle went to see Tenna, Tenna Whitecalf, who is a local leader and someone who you were recommended to speak to try to figure out what's happening. And it turns out she was nowhere to be found. As you explored her house and a little public museum she had set up, along with her neighbor Catherine, you found what appeared to be evidence of her packing up for an event, some sort of talk that she goes to pretty regularly. But it seems that was a ruse, because in her private area you found all of her cats deceased, seemingly by magic, and a single kitten that you managed to rescue. And when you reunited with the others, your continued investigation, you found that there was someone who had died in the home. And though there's nothing, proof one way or the other, you thought there's a good chance that it was Tenna. You also recovered a book that seemed to be of some importance to Tenna, that she had hidden away and locked away and secreted, and that this book may hold some answers to the Ghost Eater. And you also had Fish show an interest in symbol magic, and learn a bit from Cal with her very excellent necromantic notes. And so as you all conversed, had dinner, and converged on the home where you would be spending the night in Chris's house, you started settling in for the night, and Fish started to experiment with symbols. As we open now, we will actually go back very slightly in time to returning to the home. This is a detail I knew, but because Vienna was sleepy and on her way out, I didn't want to focus on anything that would be too important for next time, because I didn't want it to go in one ear and out the other. But when you were in the Clanlands and they were preparing for defending against the Ghost Eater, you saw them, I described this a few sessions ago, you saw them creating what seemed to be very thin wires or threads out of the solution they used for their magic. And sort of in the background throughout the day, as you got to the houses the clan was staying in town, as you came back with food to talk to Sarah, and then left on your adventures, you did see people going around the various houses, seeming to have spools of this thread or whatever it is, and seeming to put it up in the surrounding area. And as you come home, you can see just a little bit of a glimmer of the dew resting on these wires outside. And now that you go inside and had a conversation with Sarah, telling her about Tenna's death, with Chris about how you were bunking down for the night, you can also see now inside the house that two of these wires are crossed over every window. And there is some loose wires by the doors that have not been activated. You don't necessarily know what these are, but it is a clan thing, and it is clearly some sort of security apparatus. So you can ask Chris about it if you want, but yeah, that is for you.
Okay. Additional crickets.
There's one cricket who's just like really loud.
I'll look, what is that noise?
I'll smacks it.
Okay. As previously said, Fish has been practicing symbols on paper and then transferring them onto the actual floors.
Yes, we decided that you're trying to scratch them into the floors under the rug, so you can then put the rug back up and hide the damage.
Yes.
No one needs to know.
Fish was here.
Yeah. And it's spelled correctly. Because, yeah.
Which is why none of you have ever spelled it or seen it spelled. It exclusively spells their name in a different way than they've ever said.
I love it. Ghoti.
And so once they're done with that, or at least feel they're done with that, with any excess paper that they have, they're just going to be sitting there in this room, sort of furiously scribbling notes and folding a piece of paper in half and then redoing it. That's what they're doing.
We will go back to doing the symbols in just a moment. First, I will say that Chris is still in the room. Sarah has left, and he comes in and he's kind of checking things down for the night. As we discussed last time, there is a couch as well as some floor space where you can set up some blankets, and he comes in the room carrying some blankets and bedding for all of you. Isle was going to crash by the back door, close to the rest of you, but not right next to. And you probably flip the rug back over so Chris doesn't see you cutting into his floors as he comes in, and he just goes, "Okay, yeah, we're gonna seal up for the night. You guys okay? Do you need anything or?"
I think Isle will grab. You said some of the threads were loose by the door, so I think Isle will grab one and lift it up and say, "What is this?"
Oh, yeah. I will be honest. My skill is not really in the clan magic, but they told me they were making a thing, and that these wires, if they're broken or someone touches them, it'll be like an alarm, and it'll go through our necklaces, And he's got one of the whistle necklaces to signal the clan members. And that's just apparently a way we can have a little bit of security tonight. Also, we're gonna do kind of some rotations. I was talking with the other people of I'm gonna stay up a little bit later tonight and just kind of keep an eye on things, and then we got another volunteer to kind of keep an eye on things, and we'll have kind of people who are awake in at least one of the houses just to kind of keep an eye on things throughout the night. So yeah, that actually reminds me, I need to go get Sarah to kind of seal the door and activate it, unless you're all going outside again for any reason.
Al would like to roll insight on Chris.
Sure, go for it.
Don't betray us, Chris.
I'm trying to decide if Isle is in the mood to grab Kekano and go, "This door is already sealed."
That's a 24, which is a little disappointing. There was part of me that wanted a 1.
Chris is great.
Chris is evil.
Yeah, no, I was like, Chris is
gonna kill us all.
This is where she's coming from. He was like, "I'm bad at magic," and she's like, "Has anyone seen this man before 2 days ago?"
Sarah's best friend? Is he really?
Changed.
He's a plant.
YouTube doesn't exist. Has anyone seen footage of him competing in the Olympics? No, with that high roll and the persuasion I just rolled for him, he seems very sincere. He seems confused by the magic stuff, very much like somebody has tried to explain this to me and I don't fully get it. So this is secondhand knowledge. And with that insight, you can tell that if he has any of the clan's magical talent, it is so slight. He is just he's kind of an outsider in being everybody can do at least some magic in the clan. He can really kind of do none, and
The
that
only
maybe,
magic thing about him is his penis.
yeah. I mean, yeah, probably penis and his
Also his
muscles.
legs. Also his
Yeah.
arms.
Also,
Yeah.
his
Also
Most
his
of his
cute
muscles.
face.
Most of his body. Yeah, that may be, kind of overcompensating for not having magic is maybe what kind of inspired him to
He was
be a
like, "Oh
sports guy.
no, I have to be
Yeah.
cool."
Kind of compensating there. But yeah, he seems totally sincere and like he's telling the truth, and
Does he
at least
seem
as he understands it, that seems to be a correct explanation.
like a necro racist?
He seems like he is. He seems like he has not had any kind of personal experience with necromancers, and so he was kind of like, Sarah says we should hate this person. Cool. And it's like, Sarah says this person's cool now. Cool. Like, no personal stake for him, Just kind of like in the same
my
way
bestie.
that, like someone you knew and trusted was like, hey, this is a bad person. Look out for him. It's like, oh, okay, I guess. Sure. Like, he doesn't seem to have any emotional connection to the necromancy issue one way or the other than that he's probably heard, stories about kind of other people dealing with that and getting upset about it.
Cool. Cal is sitting on the floor still like working and like flipping her notes for Fesh, but like during this is just staring very intensely at Chris in a way that probably seems very intimidating and is instead being like, I wonder if he's God touched. Maybe he's a reincarnation of a saint.
Yeah.
This is a very fast story, but I once had a friend who was Mormon, and I think that they believed like reincarnation of saints or like some missing apostle or something weird. And she was like talking about a boy at school, and she's like, when I look at him, I really feel like very holy. Like I feel like that saint isn't. I'm like, girl, you are horny. Like that is.
You got a crush on him.
I don't know what to tell you, girl.
You have not been like trained in the emotional intelligence to understand that. Yeah.
Anyways, that's my story at the end.
So the way that Chris has been described, alpha body, but follower, beta mindset. Could we say that he is a Sigma?
Can we say that he...
Wow. To get into this is kind of out of game for a moment, but
in game, Fish needs to know.
Yeah.
It's just like
to get into something I was discussing with Mooney. Chris is genuinely kind of overcompensating for something, kind of a little bit like, I got like successful in my field and then kind of wealthy, which is why I got this big nice house. But I came back to like my middle of nowhere community to be like close to my family and like inject the money back into the community because I kind of feel like I didn't really earn this, kind of some imposter syndrome. They're not there right now, but I described him having like a little attached guest house. That's where his parents live because he bought them a nice house when he moved back to town. Like, it's very much like he's
Imagine
devoted.
losing it.
Yeah, he's devoted to kind of like his family and his community, and that may come from a place of insecurity.
We need to talk about Kreddle.
So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which maybe that's more of a beta mindset, but to get into his inner psychology, I guess.
Cool. I like the idea that like children with big old crayons, they've got these big old pieces of paper and they were drawing very intensely, and then they both just stared up at Chris silently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, it's the two autistic kids. I don't know.
So none of you actually answered him at all. So from his perspective, he asked you a very specific question of like, if you need anything, are you going out tonight, or can I seal up the door? And you were all having these very internal thoughts about him separately, and you're just sitting there quietly looking at him. And he just goes,
Mettle,
okay, yeah.
Mettle's gonna she's like sitting like cross-legged on the ground playing with the kitten, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, do you have any milk?"
Yeah,
And
no,
she's just gonna be like,
I think I have some, or like some cream, or I sometimes
Give the kitten
Kenna
a
had
bowl
me.
of hot cheese.
Yeah. Sometimes Tenna had me watch her cats when she was going out of town, so I've actually got some leftover cat food. If
that
you
would,
want to like, make up a meal or something.
that would be
I'm
great.
sad Cal doesn't have special interest cat knowledge because I'm like, it's 3 weeks old. He can't eat that.
We're gonna kill the cat. We're gonna wake up to a dead cat.
There's no way
I'll
this
roll a
cat's gonna live.
constitution check for the cat if you make it drink cream.
Upset tummy.
But yeah, he just kind of wanders over to the kitchen, opens the cabinet, takes out a thing of wet food, and kind of like mashes it up with a fork, so it's like better for a small kitten. This kitten probably is not like fully on solid food, but it's something. And he pours a little bit of milk in there and mixes it up and gives it to you for the kitten. And the kitten, you know, had a little bit to eat at Catherine's house, but has missed a couple meals seemingly. So he's all in, diving into the bowl, just going nom, 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 like smushing her face into the food, like swimming in it almost. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah. So I'll go get Sarah, and she'll seal up the doors, and yeah, you know, if anybody wants to like join me and stay awake for a little bit longer, you know, go nuts. I'll just be sitting in the living room, you know. Yeah, kind of like very awkward, like unexpected host energy. But
Yep.
then
He's doing great.
okay,
Love it. Supporting you, King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very quietly.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I was unmuting and it muted. Never mind. We're fine. Sorry.
Okay.
Isle is probably going to stay awake, but she's not going. She's like, I don't really want to talk to Chris, so she's gonna just like be awake from her post by the door, like kind of, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's
cool.
the same with Fish, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I
like
think when Chris leaves, Caliginous is like, do we trust him?
Isle's gonna look and be
And-
like, yes. That's
And
just a
Fish-
guy.
In response, she goes, you
She's gonna
don't
say-
trust Sarah.
I don't like Sarah,
Isle's
that's
going to
different.
go. Let's see. How will Isle respond to that? I think she'll say, "The issue there is not trust."
I trust Sarah.
Awkward silence.
Price.
Same.
Stared. Fuck.
The simp look, the simp attitude.
I think
Guys
Cal
loudly looks in her direction.
Yeah, Cal looks at this, comes up with a mean comment in her head, decides not to say it.
Cool.
As you're having this little chat, Sarah kind of walks in. You got the sense she's not staying here tonight, but she was like checking on things in this house. And so she just kind of like gives you the once over, and is like, "Everyone all ready? You good? Good? Good?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah. How are you?
I'm busy." And just kind of a fuck off, but not really. Very much an attitude of like, I don't want to talk about this right now. She goes over to Isle, kind of like steps around her, and she locks up the back door that you went through, and stretches out the wires that are anchored to the top of the door frame. You see just a flash of magic as the two of them make kind of an X over the door frame, like sealed in there. You can't open the door, you can't break down the door, you can't get through the door without seeming to trigger these things. And she just kind of is like, good night, and just wanders off. You can hear her go out the front door and kind of lock that behind her, and you hear and feel a little shimmer of magic as the wires on there get locked as well, and then she's out.
Good night. Do you guys think she's still mad at me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of did bite her a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Just a bit.
Okay. As you all settle into bed, now I think we go for Fish's symbol work. The pair of
simple
fish
work.
Womp womp. The combination. Thank you. The combination of Cal and Fish trying symbol magic for the first time. So I want to clarify that you are trying to brute force in like 3 hours, something that mages have spent years studying to try to do. And therefore, it is not going to be easy for you. But in order to respect the very high roll that Mooney got for Cal for the symbol notes last time, we will absolutely try to make this happen. So, between you and Cal, you've been able to find some symbols that the necromancers have used regularly that you at least have a decent idea of what they do. There's a lot of symbols that are kind of more complicated. They've got various parts that they may or may not have on any given symbol. And it's kind of like, symbol magic is a language that you don't even begin to speak. So it's kind of like the more complicated things are, the more likely you are to completely be misunderstanding what this is for. But you do find a sort of like some basic symbols that you get out through Cal's notes that you can use. And you can try to do one of them. So there is a symbol for kind of secrets or obscurity, you believe, that maybe keeps things from noticing whatever it's attached to, or kind of like avoiding what it's used for. Maybe that would, if the Ghost Eater came, maybe they wouldn't pick this house. Maybe they'd attack a different one of the clan houses, or something like that. There is a symbol that seems to be some sort of alarm, kind of similar to the wires, but maybe more like area of effect, that the necromancers sometimes use to use on their doors to their temples or to their rooms where they keep their sacred items. There is a symbol for structural reinforcement. A lot of the temples and a lot of the necromancers' important places are underground, kind of old, dilapidated, in soft soil. So there's a symbol that seems to be just kind of a workaday, like make these walls stronger, make this roof less likely to collapse. And then there is a symbol that seems to be kind of like a defense against undead in some way. And Cal has some notes about this symbol being kind of altered, about like maybe this symbol, it does like general defense against undead, but not very strongly. And then you can more specify like defense against ghosts, defense against specters and wraiths, defense against zombies. You can kind of specify. And that is obviously what the necromantic focus is, kind of defense against these undead. You don't know enough about the Ghost Eater to know if it is an undead creature, let alone what kind. So you can certainly try to copy that in the hopes that it will do something, but you are kind of guessing to a certain extent. That is the one that seems the most like defense oriented, of like maybe actually, if it's strong enough, being able to keep the ghost eater out. But it's also the one where you don't know if it would actually apply to it at all. It may just walk through it, even if the thing is successful, because you don't know anything about him.
Well, no, it's worth a try because even if it doesn't work against the ghost eater, now the house is protected against ghosts in the future.
Okay, do you want to do the one specifically for ghosts or the one that's for generally kind of undead?
Mooney/Cal.
I think Caliginous is kind of like sitting and looking at this. I think Kekno is like belly up, and like while she's thinking, she's just like shriveling his tummy.
Cool,
just like to
cool.
concentrate. And then she's like, the wolves are undead. So if we use
totally.
the ghost, it'll have no effect on the wolves.
Yeah, so just general undead. I think that would be good.
Yes, I understand that this seems very ghost related, but from can I run a Arcana or religion to see if I can really see any connection between what I understand of ghosts and what the ghost eater like does and have an effect on people?
I will say you can give me a religion check for that specific thing, or an animal handling check for like more general like creature knowledge.
Okay, I'll do. I'm thinking just. I think to be fair, she's just specifically running her personal encyclopedia about ghosts versus everything she knows about this guy.
Yeah.
Cool. That's gonna be. Yeah, 25.
You know from your studies that ghosts are kind of a piece left over when somebody passes on in a particularly violent way, kind of more like a pattern of who they were than any piece of what is actually them. Some have theorized that like a little piece of the soul breaks off in the transition, and that's kind of what's powering them, but they're not really, you know, a soul creature. But from what you know of ghosts, there are some like more advanced kind of, not ghost specifically, but sort of ghost adjacent banshees and such that can take on more directed action. You know, interact with the material world a lot more. But in general, that's not really a ghost thing. You know, ghosts can kind of influence people. They can haunt people. They can cause damage to somebody's psyche. But you know, like controlling wolves, breaking into houses, that just seems like at least not any kind of ghost you've studied. You know, it's possible there's you know, there's things that are ghost-like that are maybe a little bit different in you know, North America, but everything you've studied says like it's probably not a ghost, or at least a ghost doesn't do this.
Follow-up question: would I have reason to believe that Tenna was going to either become or is currently a ghost?
From your necromantic sense that you used before, you do not have any reason to believe that she would be a ghost, or in fact live on in any way. Ghosts very often require kind of like a place where the necromantic energy is a little bit thicker, maybe, you know, a mass her happened, or something like that. Or a particularly strong-willed person can kind of claw themselves into being a ghost by shredding pieces of themselves. You get the sense that Tenna's murder is just a murder, and that while it's possible she'll come back as a ghost, it's pretty unlikely. You also know from your and Mettle's work with the Ice Hearts, that the clan magic for the Ice Hearts seems to involve using the body in some way.
Yes.
And so without a body, it may not even be possible for the clan to kind of capture her soul in an Ice Heart and bring her back. If that was even possible to begin with, because you don't know kind of timing wise. You know, it's been days. You don't know how fast you have to work to be able to kind of create an Ice Heart of somebody.
Okay, yeah, so I think with that pondering back in my old noggin, I think she just says, we know they're necrotic beings. We do not know of any threats from ghosts. I would do undead.
You're right. I think you're right. And like, we're getting too caught up on the ghost part of the name. It's like if we were being attacked by an anteater and we were like, okay, what's the properties of ants? What can we defend against? Like, how do we defend against ants? It's not the problem. So yes.
And she nods and
Undead.
she says, it's not even an official name, it's the name they came up with in the past few weeks.
All names are made up, Danya.
Cal looks at her like intricate notes about like scientific readings of like ghosts and zombies, and was just like, ah.
Okay. Have you decided which symbol you're going to use then?
Only the one.
You get to at this point in your expertise, you can only do one.
That'll be the one then.
All right. Defense against undead. As you take your knife and kind of carve strips out of Chris's very
freshly
nice
varnished.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
it's not a very old house. It's really nice, but you're just getting in there, digging out, making the.
Is Mettle watching this and just like
Take that,
Damien
Chris.
at the end of Mean Girls being like,
Metal doesn't know it, but Chris just got these floors done.
Yeah.
They're like brand new. she is like, wait a minute, I didn't know you were gonna carve into the floor.
Cal's
we're
just
gonna be
like
drawing.
supervising, like, yes.
Yeah. So,
Put
and
some of your blood in it.
with Cal there, you know, you're helping. You're making sure everything's formed right. And,
She like takes a little pouch out with like grave dirt, and she's just like sprinkling the grave dirt into
Oh,
the
cool. Do you have
grooves.
any salt or sand?
Would she have? I guess she'd probably have some salt on her. I
Metal-
feel like that's not
seasoning.
would be a
That's
thing. So she takes another pouch, hands the pouch of salt to Fish.
Nice. I
I
think
feel
saw
like
this
this
in
is
a
like
movie
what the
once.
equivalent of
Fish
watching like
opens the
Breaking
pouch
Bad.
and just like eats
yeah,
it.
it's like, that's good quality salt.
Just like,
Definitely keep the ghosts at bay.
yep.
As you carve this symbol, you start to lose yourself just a little bit in the rhythm of it, focusing entirely on replicating what Cal is showing you and guiding you through, sweeping a little bit of grave dust and salt out of the way so you can get to fresh wood to carve. And it actually brings you back a little bit. You flash back to a point in your past where you were learning magic. You are suddenly a much younger fish, and you are here with a teacher, a your Aboriginal mentor who found you in in a ditch a little bit north of Adelaide, and sort of dragged you along to teach you magic. First of all, a little bit against your will, and you are flashing back to a time in the first year you spent with him. In the first year you spent with him, where you were in a by a billabong in the Nau country, sort of by the in the Southern Territories by the Australian Bight, and you remember him turning to you and just being like, "Hey, Tori, big magic business. Pay attention."
Oh. All right. Yep. It's time. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he brings you in and shows you a rock on the coast that the local Aboriginals have carved out into a series of small holes, and he describes for you how they use them to crack nuts, and then takes a scoop of water from the stagnant water and kind of dribbles it in the holes and pulls you back, and you see birds coming in and taking baths in these new little puddles and drinking from them. And he tries to teach you that the works of people and the works of nature of the country are not separate; they are intertwined, and in the same way as magic. And so you look at you look at teacher, very stern man, dressed mostly in the dress of a clever man, which is most of what he does. Just a hip wrap, ritual scars on his chest. You can see a central device of a triangle over an inverted triangle that inspired a tattoo you would get years and years later, in a woven cloak with symbols of the dreaming on it, and in a touch of kind of modern sensibilities, or at least modern for the time. He has a leather cowboy hat and a gun belt, and in the holster of his gun belt, always sort of drawing your eye because of the danger it represents, you see a little bit of the top of his casting bone, the human bone he uses to cast all dangerous magic. For he is not just a clever man, he's not just a healer and a teacher and a lore giver, wandering the countries and sharing knowledge. He is also a Featherfoot. He is someone who brings justice and death to those that deserve it. And for this, he is respected and still a little feared. But it doesn't seem scary now as he brings you in close, doesn't smile, but ruffles your head a little bit. And he teaches you about how magic and the world are not separate, and that sometimes you need to control magic and sometimes you need to let it control you. And he takes a little bit of a poultice that you've seen him make before, some roots and the liver of a sea fish, and he smears some on your eyes and a much smaller amount on his own eyes. And when you open them again, you can see magic, a skill that eventually you would learn to master without aid, a skill that is unfortunate in some ways, because when you showed it to teacher, it was when he said that he had nothing more he could teach you, and that you would have to leave him and wander. A sign of accomplishment, but also losing someone you cared about and getting kind of kicked out of the community again. But here and now, it's still new and fresh and exciting to see magic. And he brings you down to the soft soil, and he pulls out his casting bone, and he says, sometimes you need to push magic, and you can see a little bit of magic seep from him into the bone as a spell start. And then he says, and sometimes you need to let the magic work natural like. And he presses a hand down into the soft soil and lets it up, leaving a little imprint, and you can see the water from the billabong, from the soil, just soak in and fill this little indent. And you can see, with just a spark of his own magic, his magic filled the space and did the same thing. And so you are back in the present and looking at this symbol you have carved, and you can feel it. You know that in the physical world, this is just a scratch. This is meaningless, but in the ways of magic, this is just a little divot that you've made in a certain shape, and now it just needs to be filled. Filled maybe with your magic, maybe with the magic of the area. It's something you need to do to accomplish this, but this is what he was talking about. And you finally can understand that.
I can. Let me be a conduit for the magic. Let me put it in to this symbol.
You feel sort of a tug of your hand towards the symbol. And as you reach out, you can feel a little bit of your magic wanting to go into the symbol, as if a cathode dragging more magic from the environment behind it. Do you allow it?
Yes. I close my eyes and let it go.
A little spark, visible even to the others, from your finger into the symbol. And you have seen some others activate symbols before. You saw Arcanist Goph working. You saw Grand Mage Crown repairing the symbols. You've seen that an expert only needs the barest amount of magic to start this. Unfortunately, you are not an expert for all of your talent. And so you feel that while someone else could do this with just the tiniest spark of magic, for you it takes a little bit too much. And so you use one spell point, and you will not regain this spell point until this symbol is dispelled or destroyed in some way. And so even if you sleep, you will be down a spell point as long as this remains active.
Very well.
Okay.
There it is.
As Fish has had this very interesting kind of revelatory experience, we will now determine whether this symbol even works.
I just want to say, while Fish is doing this, Cal has decided to stay awake while this whole like casting process and stuff, just in case she needs to be consulted, in case it's like, oh shit, you actually drew this totally wrong. Start over from the beginning. So she's awake and she's taken out her like some embroidery fabric and an embroidery hoop, and she's taking one of the symbols of like protection, and she's just like drawing it on the embroidery hoop. She's not casting it, she's just like recording that.
And the difference is kind of like that spark like when you draw something, when you draw a symbol, when you carve a symbol, it's just a symbol. It has the potential to be more, but it requires that kind of activation. But yeah, I assume Cal is just right there, kind of supervising the whole way, hovering over to make sure this doesn't like blow up and kill everyone.
Yeah. At some point she was like, it needs to go, it has to have a 90-degree angle, a 70-degree angle.
Whips out her
but an inch doesn't
protractor.
really matter that much, does it?
Yeah.
Do it again.
That's what Fish says, and then she pulls out a measuring tape, and then she's just like,
Must be precise. The gang accidentally summons a demon.
Yeah, the ratio is this. You can use the tape. You need to make it correct.
Okay. How about you draw the lines and I'll just, like carve it out.
Which she does.
Yeah. Cal absolutely takes him up on. As the
just have Mettle's like lifting the rug, feeling complacent in the crime, while like Cal is like hankered down, like drawing with her pencil.
Really, no one wants
sure nobody else wanders in while this is happening. With Fish's natural talent and sort of this lesson that they remember, and with Cal's help and assistance, I will say for the only time that we will do this, Fish, roll a Arcana check.
Yeah.
The amount that you get will determine how much you add to the success or failure of this symbol.
Haha. 5.
Oh no! Can we say Kekino gives
teacher.
advantage?
I'm thinking of you. Be proud of me.
Kekino advantage?
5.
Yeah, no, I buy that. I buy that Kekino would be able to help as an extension of you being able to like kind of see your memories and connect with you. Kekino could give you advantage.
Kekino slaps you and is like, "Do better."
Yeah, do it correctly.
And then it'll
Make
be
an
like
effort.
6. Okay.
Natural 20.
No!
There's a 1.
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Oh no!
What is your Arcana modifier?
It's +0.
Okay, so 5 is the highest. All right. Well, 5 is still high enough to give you a D2, which is a coin. So find a coin or something to flip, or go on an online dice thing.
I
And
see a coin. I'm just gonna go online.
okay. Tails is 1, heads is 2. I am going to roll a D20 secretly on a number of 1 through 10. The symbol does not work at all, and you do not know. At 11 through 20, it does work, and you don't know that it works. Whatever you flip is what you will add to this roll as a little bit of a bump in the right direction.
Cool.
I will not. I don't think our group will be able to handle this not working, because immediately Fish will be like, "This is your fault," at Cal, and she'll just kill everybody.
You won't know whether it works one way or the other until something tries to test it.
That's what I'm saying. If zombie wolves show up, Fish is immediately going to turn to Cal and be like, "I bet you wrote that down wrong."
And you know what? Because of the importance of this roll.
Oh God!
Launch it.
This is our box of
yeah.
doom.
Yes, the crossbow of doom.
Yes, the crossbow of doom. Okay, flip your coin and see what you add.
Just for full authenticity, I will go and like get the actual legit coin.
The drama.
You need an Australian one. You need to use your country.
It'll be a
Use
gold
your
coin and
country.
everything.
Instead of a loony, it's a kangaroony.
I didn't name myself after a loony or a toonie, but sometimes it seems like that was the goal.
Thank God, that also gave me time to cough.
You've been fine, by the way. I knew you were worried.
You've been totally fine. There's no issue.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you need to cough, whatever.
Yep.
Okay. We have... Wait, is my thing on? It is. My screen's darkened, though. We have an Australian dollar that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kangaroos on it.
Yeah.
How
And
do they
then-
fit that many?
I don't know. You look. They're
Oh
there.
wow!
Yeah, a lot of kangaroos.
Amazing.
Layered.
And then on the other side, Elizabeth II. I think they need to update that.
Wow.
But then again, this is
don't.
a coin from 2016. Anyway, here's her ugly ass face.
Okay.
We're allowed to
Better
say
than
that.
Charles' ugly ass face.
It is significantly uglier, it's true. Well, why don't you give that a flip? And Elizabeth is 2, kangaroos is 1.
1.
Okay.
I think the kangaroos
Now
should be worth more.
we
There's more
will-
kangaroos on this.
The kangaroos should be 5.
The kangaroos are still alive.
Right? There's
That's
5
the issue.
kangaroos.
Yeah.
Kind of deadly.
Do you guys
Right.
know 6 white boomers at all?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know boomers who are white. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys know 6 white boomers.
Yes.
Personally,
No, it's our version of reindeer. Like when Santa comes to Australia, he's got 6 white kangaroos.
I've got a question.
um,
Boomers
Does
is
he-
slang for kangaroos. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay.
I've got a question, Ink. Does Santa switch out once he gets to Australia to his kangaroo flight crew?
Kangaroo.
Or
That's- I
is
think that's the
everyone
idea.
else wrong about reindeers and it's been kangaroos
No,
the
no.
whole time?
He switches out when he gets here specifically, and the song goes 6 white boomers, Snow White boomers, racing Santa Claus in the blazing sun. Basically, he goes for a joyride on the morning after. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Maybe rest the reindeer, or like, oh yeah, reindeer can fly, but like moving across the outback, no, you got kangaroos for the speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
and about.
Yes.
Love
I
that.
feel like seeing 6 albino kangaroos, I'd be like, oh, death is coming. Cool. The apocalypse has begun. Nice.
And you rode on a pale kangaroo, and his name was
Exactly.
But yeah, you between the two of you, you put a lot of yourself into this symbol. The symbol, the magic you pour in seems to attract more magic, and you can sort of feel the magic and almost like waves washing through the symbol. But you don't know enough about symbol magic to know if it worked or not. What else is everybody doing tonight?
I was
Um,
hoping for more of a reaction, but
You can give me an insight check if you want, or an arcana check.
I was gonna say, I guess if they did the magic eyes, they would see magic has been done, just not whether or not it was successful.
Yeah, no, and it's like the magic is there; it's in the symbol. Is like the symbol correct enough to do the effect that it needs to be? Who knows? And even without rolling, I will just say, you understand. This is a skill issue. This is a you issue. That
Yeah,
like you
skill
don't know
issue.
enough about what you're looking at to know whether this is active or not. In the future, maybe you'll develop that skill.
skill issue, picture of cat sitting in front of guy on computer. You
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
on my computer.
but it's Kekano.
Mhm. Yes.
Look, we will do that insight roll, but I'm fully aware, not really hoping for much there. So There. Yep. Okay. 14 plus 2, 16.
Okay. You and Cal are both looking at the symbol, and you're kind of holding your breath a little bit, and then it's like, nothing seems to be going wrong. So, like, I guess it's not, so fucked up that it's dangerous. It's just kind of a question of whether it, like, actually, activates properly or not. Like, this is like supposed to be like kind of a defense against undead, like magic shield thing. Like, maybe it will come out and it's not as strong as it should be, or it won't activate when undead are nearby or something like that. Like, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, but it doesn't look like it's going to like explode or go totally out of control. So it's like, I did it mostly right.
Kyle walks over and just like,
Okay.
why did you write summon undead in the floor?
In all seriousness, I think Kel
Kyle.
is looking at the lack of like anything like spooky necromancer coming out of this, and looks at Isle and says, "Do you intend on taking watch the entire night?"
Kyle gives like a silent nod.
That may be wise.
Okay. If we live through the night, I don't care if I didn't actually do anything. I just want you all to say thank you in the morning. And if we die through the night, you're all allowed to say whatever you want. You can say whatever horrible thing you want.
Cal turns, kind of like cocks her head, still like kind of like squat, and says, "I'll thank you now."
Well, thank you for helping me with it, Denier. I really appreciate it.
I would not be able to do anything with this research if you had not been willing to attempt it. So, thank you for making it, at least in part, not a waste of time.
Yeah, not a waste of time.
I think it's going to be great.
Thanks, Mettle.
Kyle says, we'll see.
Doesn't say anything to Isle.
Okay, and now it is getting, much later in the evening. It's probably time to bed down for the night so you can recover from your wounds, get some of your spell points back, and not be so messed up in case something does happen. Isle is going to stay up to guard. If you stay up all night, I'm going to give you a level of exhaustion. But you can certainly stay up part of the night without incurring any penalty. And in fact, if you decide to do a rotation among at least 3 of you, you'll have a guard rotation that will all let you get enough sleep to fully heal and everything, and still have somebody kind of awake at all times through the night.
Fish, I'd like to volunteer to do a partial rotation.
Is this including like Chris and stuff?
Yeah, if you want to include Chris, you can, but he's kind of sitting in the other room, just staying awake, and he's kind of got his own rotation because you didn't discuss this with him at all.
No,
so
we refuse.
We don't need Chris.
Let him be a
I
gentleman.
want to talk to him.
Cal says, as long as I get 5 or 6 hours, I can also take watch.
Me too. I usually only sleep like 4 hours a night and I'm good.
We're all fucked, aren't we?
Yeah, you're all very messed up. For very different reasons. You're all very messed up people.
Love this.
But like while everybody is like kind of like settling down and whatnot, Mettle is gonna be playing with the little kitten, and she's gonna be like just sort of like to the room. Like I don't know if anyone's paying attention to her, but she's gonna be like, my parents said they were gonna get me a kitten when I was old enough and like responsible enough, but then I had to move to my aunt's house, and she hated kittens and she hated cats. But so this is all very exciting. But I can't think of a name because the only names I had were like names I came up with when I was like 7, and so I don't think Spot is a good one. I don't think Mittens is cute. Actually, I had thought about naming a cat Fish because I thought that would be funny, but now that might be awkward. That might be like weird. I don't know. So I will take any suggestions.
You really don't think Mittens the kitten is cute?
I just think it might be overused from what I know.
I could ask it what it wants to be called.
Okay.
Cal to Kakano on the floor in a whisper says,
What?
I didn't even hear what you said.
I
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, so also, can you hear me better if I do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cal in a whisper to Kakano while she's sitting on the floor says, Kakano too.
Kekano too. Kekano Jr., son of Kekano.
Yeah.
Son of Pekino.
My grandson?
Kekino responds.
Becomes a father and a grandfather in the same day.
Same week.
Same week.
Man.
Kekino responds to you mentally. She is 2 weeks older than me.
Cal says, then maybe you're the Kakano too.
Kekino too. Kekino kind of waddles over to Fish and is like, "Am I Kekino too?"
No, you're not. You're number one Kakano here in here.
Number
buddy.
one in our hearts.
Pal.
Oh.
Yeah, fuck that cat.
This is
No,
a
not-
smooth talker. I'm just sick.
What does Fish say? Sorry, I didn't hear.
You're the only one. You're the number one Kakano in here, buddy, pal.
Yeah. Kekino's
Then
very
you said
happy.
Cal, and I was like, I don't think she intended to be overheard by anyone except psychic steel ears.
I'm just gonna push at it, okay? Hi.
Hi.
What do you want to be called?
Kitten.
Guys, we're calling it Mittens.
I was like, I fucking told you.
Metal's like, okay, well, I mean, that's great.
She
That
said
was like
kitten. She doesn't understand human names.
Metal's like, that's always actually been my number one pick.
Does the cat protest this at all? Being like, that's not what I said.
Cat doesn't understand because Fish is not speaking human again.
That doesn't
But-
understand.
but
Also, the cat clearly wanted to be called.
But Kekino, you're gonna see, goes to the kitty and says, kind of publicly to the cat and to everyone as well, being like, "You are called Mittens now," and you get an image of very like classic like Christmas card Mittens against a snowy background, and the cat is like,
Means nothing.
and not
Paul
like
is mentally Googling, can cats have taken names?
yeah.
True names?
No, cat magic does not come from the names. Yeah, cats do not have names.
I beg to differ. Have you seen Andrew Lloyd Webber's?
That's true. We did have a
Hey,
long
Beth.
discussion about cats.
This cat's name is McCavity.
He's
Um,
clearly a Jenny Any
Mitt.
Dots.
Myths?
I just want you guys to know that Vienna, we were talking about Taylor Swift, and Vienna says, I don't like her because she did such a bad job as one of my favorite characters. And I was like, who? Like the bitch from the Lorax? Like, what the fuck could you possibly be referring to? And she was like,
She didn't exist.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bombalurina is a dream role, and I don't think she did very well. It's not her fault necessarily. The movie as a whole was a trash can, but
I just want to
Hold
point
it
out I
against her.
could not comprehend that
I'm not gonna
someone would
fight
like
your woman, Matt.
cats so much to be upset about Taylor Swift not doing a good enough job.
Yep.
That is iconic, actually.
Okay, I'm making this suggestion as May Inc., and then I'm gonna project it psychically down to Fish's brain, and they're just gonna get it from nowhere. Swiftie.
Oh, that would be a good, because
The Swifter picker upper.
Okay, then
very
Fish is
fast.
just sitting there, and they go, Swiftie. I just got this fucking name in my brain. I don't know where it came from. We had to cut Swiftie.
Swiftie.
Cal turns to Kekano and says, "Does it like that one better?"
Kekano turns and talks with the cat a little bit, and the cat is just like, wow, 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 wow. And Kekano reports back, she likes it. Also, there was a box she curled up next to her mama that had a rabbit on it that she looked at a lot. She is requesting to be called Swift Rabbit. But Swiftie is a good name.
we're looping back to the warrior cat's name.
Yes. Swiftclaw.
Mettle's like, oh, but she's a kitten and she wants to be called a rabbit. Oh.
Listen,
Very
we can be whatever we want in this house.
So true.
Cat is trans.
Grabs the kitten by the neck. Gender is a construct.
Yeah, just kind of like, hey, I was in a really deep, dark place, didn't understand that, like, my mom and whole family was dead. I was just kind of stuck here, barely surviving, and what gave me comfort was looking at this pretty picture of a rabbit, and my mom told me about rabbits, and this was a rabbit, and I don't know, but I think that's good. So,
Wholesome.
requests Swift Rabbit, or Swift.
Mettle starts tearing up at this story. She's like, "Oh wow, okay, then we have to name it. That's what her mom wanted to be named. Okay, Swift Rabbit. That's it.
All right, we have to
Awesome.
respect the cat's agency.
Oh, while we're talking to her, we should probably ask her, what else she might know from, the horrors.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's
how
a
are
good
the horrors,
idea.
kiddo?
Sorry,
Excuse
Lovey.
me, tiny little Swiftie rabbit.
Huh?
Did you see the horrors?
She's looking at you, and then she kind of starts backing up from you and like curls up into Kekano, and Kekano kind of like curls around her a little bit, and you can see he's kind of talking to her, and then she says, "No see, but heard."
Huh.
Have you guys conveyed that Martin was in the house?
Hey, let's just say on the way home we
All has
gave
been
you
relayed.
you every fact
We
that we have.
did. And then
you haven't taken any kind of deep look at the book that you found.
that's
but
what I was gonna say. We have to give that
Good.
book to Fish.
The easy information about, like, yeah, so, like, Martin had been meeting with Henna a bunch. Don't know if he was in the house around that time when she seemingly disappeared or was murdered, but he was a frequent visitor. Yeah, that's been communicated. And Kekano says, I talked to Swift Rabbit, while Chris and Sarah were here, and I can help with the story.
Yeah. Tell us, Tekano. And what can we do? How can we make her more comfortable?
She would like more milk.
All right. Well, we're not gonna go do that because we don't want to talk to Chris anymore tonight.
You are in a living room that is kind of like open floor plan with the kitchen. Or rather, a second seating room that's not the living room Chris is in, which is like the other side of the house. So
Okay, well, there you go.
You guys know the like in Lilo and Stitch when Stitch like scuttles across, opens the door with his foot, grabs him, and stares at Nani.
Yeah,
That is what Isle is going to do to get the kitten some milk.
Yeah, but okay, so you get the kitten some milk. Kind of curls into Kekano, and Kekano says she said she was with her mom, and her eyes were just starting to open, and she met some of the other cats, and then there was a lot of loud noises, and the Swiftie kind of takes up the story, but Kekano is providing the mental images that Swiftie is conveying. So it's almost like you're living it yourself. You are in a dark place under the counter, warm against your mom, and you hear what sound like people voices. You don't understand what they're saying because Swiftie didn't, but you can tell anger, a fight of some kind.
Can we tell it's a male voice?
No, because Swiftie doesn't have the experience to experience that. You're getting very much her, rather than like a recording of what happened. You're getting very much like her interpretation of what happened. But you hear a loud thump, and then some quiet, and then a sound that the box makes when mom kicks them or dragging something. And then everything is quiet, and the cats are concerned because they start to get hungry. And you can hear them talking about how hungry they are, how the door is locked, and it's weird that their mother hasn't let them out and given them food. And then some amount of time later, it's hard to understand from a kitten's perspective, kind of in and out, falling asleep. There is a voice again, and it seems like it might be the same voice, and it's much calmer. And there's something else there, but you can't really hear it, more sense it. And then all of a sudden, a wave of something washed over all of the cats.
What the hell?
You can feel your mother suddenly start shrinking in, start shriveling away as if she's starving in real time. And she tries to curl up around you and hold you close and protect you. And passes away in a couple moments. And you felt some of whatever this was, you would probably interpret it as magic, touch you. But it was looking for hunger, and you were already a very hungry kitten, and therefore it did not sink its claws into you as deeply as it did the others. And then it is just a period of time of you sadly suckling from what was left of your mother, eventually running out, starting to starve, and then sounds and voices, and then the light of the cabinet being open and being pulled out into Mettle's arms, and you see Mettle from the cat's perspective, you know, scary stranger, but also salvation. And that is what you get from Swiftie's story and Kekino's translations.
Mettle is fully weeping.
Yeah.
She's like relating a little too hard to certain things, and she's like, "Oh my god!" and just picks her up. It's fine.
Yeah,
Everything's
real.
fine.
As long as you don't think this is too much of a leap for Cal to take, and I don't think it is because she's inherently suspicious, I think she responds to this tale of woe by saying, "Do we believe Martin Greer is capable of murder?"
Who was that?
The mortal, the disrupting, stealing the dead.
Professor
that guy. Yeah, no. I don't really remember him.
I will say, emotionally, yes. Physically,
I believe mortals have been inventing new ways to kill each other with less physical requirements.
Oh, then yeah, you would not believe the things that they come up with. You know how we just had our war? Well, they had a couple, and crazy shit. You would, like, let's not even...
Discussion for another time.
It's like the one in 1914.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh.
I was
Nothing
there.
else.
gosh. I was like, if we're hungry, will the ghost eater not want us? Like the kitten?
Hunger to the point of starvation is not easy to immediately simulate.
You just ate flatbread. That's Madison pointing that out. We just had dinner.
Yeah.
Damn it,
We
fish.
just ate. Oh, we're all gonna
Isle
die.
starts puking up a hairball.
Caliginous is like shaking her head, and I was like, "This kitten was starving for days. You would have had to start starving yourselves as soon as we got into town."
Isle, you know how you've been constantly shoveling snacks in your mouth? You need to have not done that.
we consider it for 0.3 seconds, and then we're like, "Oh, we can never do that." So it doesn't matter.
My snack,
That's a dumb plan.
my snacks betrayed me.
Also, if you ask Swiftie for like clarification on that, or Kekino having like a little bit more of an adult mind for kind of an explanation for that.
Ekano's the adult.
Yes, of the two of them, surprisingly.
Your old babysitting the 11-year-old.
He's younger.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's exactly what that is. It's that there's this 8-year-old and they're babysitting the 6-year-old. The Swiftie didn't hear anything come into the side of the house, the living side of the house, until after their mom had died. And so whatever it was like a blind, like, area effect, and then somebody came in and was moving stuff around. You would know, like picking up the cats and kind of like shuffling them off to the side so they were out of view of the windows and such. And it may entirely be a thing of like the ghost eater's senses kind of may work a little bit on hunger, and so it could tell that there were a bunch of living, very hungry things in the next room, and it was like, okay, I got them all.
Okay. So it's actually fine that we've eaten. It's better that we've eaten.
It was good flatbread, so I think we're just gonna have to deal with that.
Yeah,
It
Caliginous
cost
is
me a
like,
nugget. Come on, guys.
Eat your flatbread. It cost me an unprocessed gold nugget.
God.
Okay.
Mettle.
Before we move on, I just want to set up the order that people are staying up for security at night. If you want to do that, we have Isle first.
yeah. I think my question is, would Isle accept sleeping at all, or would be like, you guys can be second
Yeah.
backup, but
yeah.
I'm never going to sleep.
I do think Isle is going to sleep. I think that Isle might want to go later because I think she feels it's easier for her to just like wake out of a dead sleep and be fine because she's a freak. But like, yeah, I think she feels, especially because last like attack was kind of like in the morning ish from the Ghost Eater, so I think she'd want to be more like that end of
Middle
it.
of the night.
Yeah.
From what you know of the Ghost Eater, majority of its kind of operation, like being during the day, both the attack on the road and kind of the attack where they kidnapped fish, is kind of unusual. It seems like they've been around at night when kind of people's defenses are lower.
Okay. Okay, we'll say Isle first, and then she'll probably, if everyone's taking, is everyone taking a shift?
It sounded like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll wake up with whoever's last and have 2 people on that shift.
Okay. Then who wants to go first?
I would
Okay.
like to operate when the night is darkest, because that's
Okay.
kind
Probably
of when shadow
second.
magic is.
I think Mettle can go first. She'll stay up with the little Swiftie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone needs to be feeding that formula every 4 hours. That's supposed to
Exactly.
be part of the shift.
Yep.
Yes.
Just to
Yeah,
keep you
whoever's awake
And
occupied.
is-
also feed the cat.
This. Oh boy, this cat's gonna die. I hope not.
Maybe.
No.
Not
She's a hit-
guaranteeing it's not.
She has a hit point of 0.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mettle, then Fish, then Cal, then Isle.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
And what was Metal gonna do, Matt?
She's just like staying awake, playing with little kitten, and then just doing whatever kind of watch things need to be done.
Then we will
Singing
do.
sweet love to Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. Just distracting Chris as well, so there's no security. Give me. Okay, so everybody is going to bed, bunking down for the night. Isle is curled up at the back door. One of you takes the couch. I don't know who it is, and the rest of you
Me.
are in blanket nest on the
Fish is
floor.
like, I had a hard day, okay? Which he did.
I bit someone.
And Metal has the first shift while playing with and taking care of Swiftie. Please make a perception check for me for your first shift.
Okay.
Bro, what the
She's
fuck?
like responsibly taking a shift. Like she's playing with the cat, but she's responsibly paying attention. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, no, I'm gonna use the other one. Oh no. Okay. Eleven.
Okay. There is a point, not that long after everyone goes to sleep, maybe an hour or so, where you think you hear something, and something is moving outside, and it really kind of like startles you back to awareness, and then you realize it's some sort of stray dog.
That's our
Pet
third
dog.
pet.
Yeah. That could be Isles.
Oh, I don't need the dog.
Isle says, "I am the pet."
Yeah. It's true.
That's actually Isle going out to take a piss.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
was like, "Don't look at me." Woof woof.
Is that
Your,
a terrier?
Other than that event, your shift passes without issue. Next up is Fish. Give me that perception roll.
All right.
Big money.
And, just while this is happening, they're also just scrolling on paper.
Yep. Writing letters.
You're scrolling on TikTok.
Yes, writing like
Yes, I do.
and like little note versions of letters, basically.
Yeah.
So that was perception.
Yes.
18.
Ooh.
Okay.
I was gonna say, do we need Kekano help? Do Kekano's seal eyes see?
Kakano's having a sleep with kitten mittens.
Oh,
As you go about your shift, you manage to really keep a good awareness of what's going on. You're writing, but you're also keeping your head on a swivel, listening for noises that are out of place. Pretty early after the changeover, you hear Chris in the other room get up and head to bed. And there is a very soft conversation upstairs. Maybe someone else is now awake and is not coming downstairs, or maybe they're not. Maybe it's just relying on someone
That's
being
Chris
awake.
and Sarah confessing their loves.
Yeah, maybe. You don't
That's
hear
what Fish's
any
paranoia says.
You don't hear any headboard banging or anything like that. Also, Sarah's not here. The house is sealed, so she couldn't get in.
That's what you would do if you were having an affair. You'd be like,
Also,
I'm
Sarah-
leaving. I'm
Sarah's
locked
the one
up.
who sealed it. Like,
That's very true.
Exactly.
Sarah could probably there.
damn, these dogs okay?
Probably not.
No, they're turning into zombie wolves.
Ah!
There is something. This is reaching you at sort of the end point of your shift. It's perhaps 11:30, closer to midnight maybe. Not quite the darkest part of the night. Not quite time to wake up Denier. You don't hear anything. You feel something. A small feeling in the back of your mind creeping up on you a little bit more strongly, and you realize it is fear. And I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
It's not even midnight yet.
I'm gonna die. I'm a werewolf.
God.
Oh.
You
Wow.
gotta wait. Fuck. You gotta wait until we know what they rolled.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's a dirty 21.
Thank
Your
God.
reaction did not indicate that it was a dirty 21.
Everything's fine.
You can feel you can feel this influence, and you realize that you have felt this a couple of times now. You felt this when you were first found the dark woods. You felt this when you were captured. You felt this on the road. This is the ghost eater, and it seems to be, from your experience, something that gets stronger the closer the ghost eater is. And you just shake off the fear. It's not affecting you, but you can still feel it. And you can also feel it getting a little bit stronger and then much stronger. And then we're going to pause for just a moment to see the nightmares that the others are experiencing while they're asleep while this happens. I was genuinely rolling to see when the Ghost Eater showed up and what they would, whose shift it would be and so on. So yeah, genuinely happened during Fish's watch.
Isle's gonna be so upset.
I know. I mean, I'm
Sorry.
assuming at some point Fish is gonna wake us up, but
Yeah, probably. Or you're gonna wake up from the nightmares.
All right.
All right. So, would anybody like to volunteer for their nightmare first?
Isle can have a good old nightmare.
I was gonna say, I don't think Isles had a nightmare yet.
Isle did. Isle had one.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I don't like that.
The special nightmare noise.
No.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
In your sleep, you find yourself with your family. All four of them. Sitting around a table, hanging out, chatting, laughing. They're just doing what they always do. Hanging out, having a drink, bringing you in and swapping stories. But you can hear in the background, very quietly at first, and then starting to get a little bit louder. The screaming, the pain, all of the people that your family has hurt to do what they do. People you've watched hurt and suffer. The people who have looked at you and who you could have helped but didn't. Not a single one. Single person that you helped. You look back at your family as they laugh louder, and they cheer, sing songs, and blood starts to drip from their eyes, from under their fingernails, but they don't notice. What does the suffering of others matter? This is just work. Business. That's what your father always said, right? It's just business. And as the blood flows off of them, it starts pooling on the ground. And the walls start creaking, fingers pushing between the boards as those screaming, crying in pain try to dig their way into your place of happiness, your place of comfort with your family built on their pain. You wake up out of a dead sleep. You wake up. Okay, who's next? Mettle or Cal?
I just want to know if Isle's family like has a barber shop or something to this effect. Like, did they sell pies?
Are they bakers?
I'm sweating. Okay. Mettle can go next. It's fine.
Okay. Mettle, you find yourself at a place that's very familiar to you. The Dentel house in the main dining room. There's a party going on. A lot of people you know kind of movers and shakers in the magical community, wandering around, discussing, business, magic, the sanctuary, all the normal things you never really paid that much attention to. And they're enjoying their dinner party, talking to each other, and you go to take your bite of your food. Might as well. It's been dozens of parties like this before, but then you notice you're handcuffed, and a deep bolt is driven in to the dining table. And slowly you start to realize that the people around you are discussing you. Not as a person. No, the way they've always discussed you. A thing. Something to be traded. Your aunt is there, making a deal for who you're going to marry, who you're going to connect with, who you're going to support, who your money is going to go to, who you're going to fight for, and it gets darker and deeper, complimenting your eyes and your ears, talking about, how much we could purchase them for, sell them for, being traded, discussed as if you're not even really a person. And they look at you hungrily as you cannot escape from this place that is your home. And so the nightmare ends for you. Slowly, softly, things becoming a little more distant. And then you come to awareness of yourself and you wake up.
God. I'm sweating. Okay. Caliginous, go.
Cal's is gonna be like, you're at a birthday party. Everyone's looking at you and singing
Everyone's
happy
looking at
birthday.
you.
They're
Everyone is
happy to be here. And she's like, no!
You are in a Chili's.
You're here. Your friends want to stay past closing, and you're getting really nervous. They're gonna be mad at you. The people at Chili's are mad. They hate you.
The people
You
at
ruined
Chili's.
their
Loudest
day.
thing you've ever experienced. All right, Cal's nightmare. And I'm going to say, I think you are all waking up when Fish alerts you to wake you up.
Okay, so we're not coming to the natural conclusion of these nightmares. This is just the cutoff point is when Fish is going, yeah.
Yeah, nightmares
That's
seem
exactly what they sound like.
Nightmares seem to twist and stretch. They're very elastic. You can wake up and feel like you've been having hours of nightmares and you've been asleep 5 minutes. You can be asleep for 8 hours and have a nightmare that seemed like it passed like that. It doesn't seem to be like the natural conclusion of the nightmares matter so much. And then if you stayed asleep, you would kind of be trapped in this nightmare as the fear aura of the ghost eater would just continue to affect your sleep. So we'll move into Cal's nightmare. Oh, and if you were wondering, I did have a nightmare for Fish, but we won't get to see it. It's a shame.
It's just
We can
Fish,
just
Fish
make
is
them
living
pass
it
out.
right now.
You can
Yeah.
tell us about it after, though, right?
Yeah.
I'm desperate.
Or have the ghost eater knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, there's still time.
Bear's
All
gang.
right. Sister Caliginous Nightmare. Unlike the nightmares other people are experiencing, this isn't something that unusual for you. You're just working in your cell, reading, writing notes. As time passes, the lights start to dim and then go out. So you light your candles, and the candles burn down. You realize slowly that no one is ever coming for you. This is the nightmare of your own creation. You've isolated yourself, pushed others away, and now you're forgotten. You will be alone in your little room forever. None of your brothers and sisters will even notice that you're gone. No work that you ever do will ever mean anything or find value, because no one will ever find it, and no one will have ever known you well enough to care. Your sister is gone. And you know that you will die utterly and completely irrelevant and forgotten. And then you wake up.
Guys, everyone get up. The thing is here.
As you shout them awake, and everybody wakes up from their various nightmares, you feel the fear aura approaching, getting stronger, and then staying the same. Maybe it's moving around. Maybe it's not directly outside, but you can still feel that it's there. And I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw, including Fish. It's time to make another one.
Yep.
I'm stressed.
Are the other people awake? Can we hear them?
It's
Not-
just like
Not that you can hear, but there is a noise upstairs, as if somebody is awake and has realized something or heard something, or ghost eaters climbing through the window, whatever.
Yeah, right. It'd be Chris. 16.
15.
I had a
No.
+5 to my nat 1.
Oh.
And for Isle?
I rolled an 18. Is my wisdom just the +3?
It should just be your natural wisdom modifier, unless you have proficiency in it. Which I think you might.
21.
Okay. Well, you all pass except Cal. Caliginous,
No.
you are under the fear condition. You cannot willingly move closer to the source of your fear, which is the Ghost Eater's location, even though you don't know where that is. And you have disadvantage on any skill or ability checks until the fear condition is gone.
Cool. At least I'm not eating anyone yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, right side.
Still time. You hear a little bit more noise upstairs. What are you all preparing to do? What actions are you taking?
I think Isle screams, "Wake up!" as loud as she can, just to make sure that everyone else is awake, and then grabs her spear. I guess she would try to see, can I figure out where the fuck this thing is? She gets the sense that she probably can't stab it with her spear, but she's sure as hell gonna try.
You do hear a little bit of a reaction to the shouting. It sounds like some other people are kind of getting up, and
Get up faster!
you can do a perception check with disadvantage to try and figure out where the Ghost Eater is.
Sounds good. That's a nat 1, baby.
Okay.
Twins!
The Ghost Eater isn't even here. The Ghost
Cool.
Eater is actually
We're-
What Ghost
Go
Eater?
back to bed, we're fine.
This
Yeah,
is a
it's-
coincidence.
It pays to be prepared.
The
Yeah,
flatbread gave us nightmares. It's fine.
Okay, then I'll roll also as well.
Okay.
Should this be perception? Yes.
Yep. Perception
Yes.
with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, Hekino's not helping me.
Kekino, actually, yeah. Kekino can help you because he gets advantage on wisdom saving throws, so he will give
So
that.
canceled out.
I'll just be
Yeah, he will give it to you, so it will cancel out the disadvantage. Just roll flat.
Okay, that 19, and I believe perception is +2. Yep, that's another dirty 21. Lucky
Hands go
me.
off.
You are getting the strong feeling both from the kind of like areas of activity you're hearing. You can hear when, kind of specifically where the crickets are starting to go silent, and you can feel ever present in the back of your mind this weight of this fear, and you can almost sort of pinpoint where it's coming from, and you understand that the Ghost Eater is actually very close, but it is not on your side of the house. It is a little bit on the other side of the house, catty corner to where you are right now, but it feels very close.
It's not like right here, but it's here, basically. I'll.
To clarify, it is, if not pressed up against the house, close to it. It is just not on the side of the house you are on.
Yeah, that's still what Fish says, though.
It's in the yard.
Yeah, unhelpful. Is it
Um,
like, can Fish tell if it's like, is it outside hitting our barriers or is it within?
There is nothing to indicate one way or the other.
Oh, love
Damn.
that for us.
You have absolutely no idea. You can
The
try.
strings would make a noise if they were hit, right?
Yes.
They were working. I'm sure this is a gaseous bitch. Like, yeah.
You haven't seen it, you know?
I'm sure this is a gaseous bitch. That should be
Yeah.
your
Gaseous
title for the
bitch,
game,
you know?
Mads.
I
Yeah.
got it.
yeah.
Stunning.
Uh,
That's right. You're true. You're probably right though.
Gaseous bitch. Anyway.
That's a good.
That's the mean nickname for Ghastly.
Yep. And I'm going to start making some rolls to see what the
Cool.
Ghost Eater does. So you guys better move fast because I'm just
I
going
I was
think
gonna say,
I-
Cal
okay.
is. I'm honoring my
Cal,
fear by saying Cal is just like standing back, like hand over her heart, just sort of like frozen, not really taking any action.
Miles kind of just like whipping her spear around to see if she hits anything. She's like, "Where the fuck is it?" trying to catch a bat. Like,
No, you go, Mads.
I was just gonna say, Mettle did produce flame, and she's just kind of like got it. So it's like lighting the room, hopefully, and then we'll throw it when necessary.
Yep,
Can she peek around the hallway and be like, Chris, hello, anybody?
As you peek into the hallway in the living room beyond is dark. There's no one there. You can hear the noise upstairs, but this is all still happening very fast. People are still kind of like waking up, getting out of bed. They didn't get as much pre-warning as you. So you hear what may be like a huh, but
What do you mean, huh?
you're not even sure necessarily if people are like aware they're under attack, just that they need to get up and they're still kind of reacting to the emergency.
okay, I think Isle's going to yell, "It's here!" I think she's gonna run and just start waking people up. She's like, "Get your ass up! What the fuck?"
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're running through the bottom level of the house where there's one person sleeping on a cot, and then are you heading upstairs where the rest of the people are kind of sleeping?
Has the cop person woken up?
Yes, and he's getting out of bed and he's just like, "What's going on?"
My dog.
Punch him in the
Read,
face.
Yeah,
read the
right?
room, bro.
How could you all sleep with the dogs? Yeah, I opened the stairs. Okay.
And
Oh.
you actually see the fear effect take hold of him because
great.
he absolutely
Cool.
biffed that wisdom saving throw.
Love that.
And
God.
he's now screaming and running in the opposite direction away from you, into the room where Cal and Fish are,
Okay.
and is going to try to get out the back door. He
Oh,
can't
buddy.
quite get it. He can't quite get it
Cool.
in like trip up yet, but
Can we make
You guys-
him like
We
not
solved this
open
with
the
like
back
a
door?
slab.
Yeah, I think Cal sees this guy like going for the door, and like some sort of instinct kicks in. So she does. Yeah, I think we'll probably just do a grease outside the doorway, like welcome mat area. So anybody trying to get there and yank open the door is going to have problems.
okay, inside the house?
Yes, inside the house.
Towards the back door where you are?
Yeah, just where
Okay.
he's heading, because he said he was coming our
Gotcha.
way, right?
Yes. He seems to be under the fear condition, and so he is running away from whatever is causing fear, which means in his direction was where the ghost eater was, and in your direction is where it's not. He hits your grease spell and actually manages to not fall, although he is slowed pretty significantly. Yeah, what's everybody else doing?
Okay, well, Cal's got the fear effect, so is she freaking out, like, is additionally to this?
I think she's not as bad as this guy is, because she's like experienced it more, but like heavily breathing, clutching her chest. Like she casts that spell, and you can probably see she knows that she needs to follow that up with another spell because it didn't work, and it's just like not clicking.
Okay, well, Fish, grabs Kekino and like goes.
Also, have we gotten her full rest?
Not yet.
Nobody has?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Grabs Kekino, closes the gap between, themselves and Cal, and goes, Denia, here, just hold on to him. It's gonna be okay. Which way was the house that Sarah was staying? Was it in the direction that the ghost eater is?
No, actually, not quite in the other direction, but not in that way. No, it seems like the ghost eater is perhaps targeting this house. And actually, I just rolled a perception check for Kekino, as well as his resistance to the fear effect, which he passed, and he is in Cal's arms, and he goes, there, and he points his now to kind of the far wall behind where the guy in the cot was in the living room, and there's not a window there, but he's also pointing slightly up, like it's to the second floor. And at that point, that I want you to see this. Yeah, not quite yet. Okay. Got just a moment.
Mettle. Oh, sorry.
Oh, just Fish wants to, Eldritch Sight. Just,
Nice.
if the just where's the shit? Just show me the stuff.
With Eldritch Sight, you see the wires, and from that you can get a view of kind of the entire house as it is sketched out. All the exterior doors and windows trapped with the wires. You don't see the ghost eater or anything that could be like some sort of being or figure. It seems like your sight kind of fails in this magic, just kind of like it's not the kind of magic you're used to. That's whatever this thing is, you know from experience that like creatures that have an innate magic, like an innate connection to the magical world, just kind of show up at about the same level as the natural world, kind of a background radiation situation, where like if you're really close, sometimes you can see them, but otherwise they're just kind of lost in the noise. But you can see a you can see one of the windows upstairs, the wire stretching ever so slightly, as if a window was being very slowly forced open, and it is in the direction that Kekino was pointing. I'm going to give you all one more chance to do things, and then we're resolving this.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the wires, can Mettle if Mettle like goes and like how do we trip them? Like how do we alert everybody?
If you want to go and like cut the wires with your knife, or like smash something against it, or what have you, that'll work. Yeah.
Can she use like
yourself?
a little flame hand and just be like, here you go, and just like what
Set up
everybody?
the fire alarm in the house.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Absolutely.
She can do that too.
You smash your flame against the wires, and they snap with a twang, and you hear not in physical noise, but in the alarm coming from your necklaces. You feel that everything is kind of alerted.
I think
As even though Kekino also pointed in the direction of the thing, Fish is also just gonna be like, "There's a fucking thing. The thing is breaking up the thing," just so that that's communicated for everyone very clearly, obviously.
Cal tries to put a boot down in the direction that Kekino is pointing, and then can't, and it's just like shaking all over like a leaf.
I was gonna run upstairs.
It is actually time again for all of you to roll your wisdom saving throws.
Oh,
Another one for me?
Yep.
Cool.
Al's okay. She's fine.
Nothing's ever happens.
Yes.
That's bad.
Oh no, Ink, don't say that. No. I got a 19.
Okay.
So.
I got a 9.
Got a 9.
14.
14.
Oh, 12, sorry.
Okay.
Bringing me back to like 4 a.m. in the dorms. Somebody was smoking weed, and the fire alarm's going off.
Yeah. Someone
You guys-
decided to take the 2 in the morning. And
We all
chase someone
just
down.
stayed in.
Why
We
not?
were like, we would rather die than go out.
Oh,
and,
we
like,
had to leave. We were like an outside dorm, so there was no staying in. Like people were like banging on your
I
door, and, like,
see.
get the fuck out.
So I was on the 12th floor, and it was like, well, I could go out in negative 10-degree weather in my PJs, or I could die in the sweet embrace of the flames. Sorry, Mettle. But...
Yeah.
Read the room. Wow.
Well, Mettle and Isle pass the check. Fish and Cal do not. Both of you are now under the fear condition and cannot move forward.
We're just sharing Kekino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
believe
holding his
we
flippers.
I believe we only have Isle and Cal potentially doing something
Or Isle of Mettle.
left.
Oh well, I was gonna say Mettle will run upstairs after that, but
Yeah. And I'll just like, I guess she'll probably see Mettle running up the stairs and she'll grab her arm. So I know like the last session I was going to have I'll be like, narratively, I want to protect Fish and cast Sparkskin on their sleeping form. But also then that kind of got erased because we did a bunch of stuff before we I
know. And I was going when you came up on shift, the guard shift, I was gonna give you the option of then casting it then on
then
Fish.
Tragically.
Instead, can I just like grab Metal's arm and pull her up and cast Sparkskin on her?
Yes.
Cool.
Sorry, Fish. You're not. You missed out.
Okay,
It's
Mettle
fine.
is
Friendship with Fish is over. Now Mettle is my best friend.
Mettle
Yeah,
is
no.
running
Fish is
upstairs.
like dived for Kekino, and as a result, Caliginous as well. So it's just like.
Grinding.
Are we both
You're
holding?
sobbing.
Did you rip Kekino out of my hands, or are we just like both holding
We're
him?
both holding him.
Ekano's in the
Good.
middle.
Yes.
Swiftie is also there and is just digging her claws into Cal's leg. Very
No.
afraid.
Please,
Her
please
Yeah,
keep the cat safe.
Metal runs upstairs. Her skin is sort of softly glowing with a blue light that looks not unlike a very slow lightning that is giving her some additional defense. And just as you reach the upstairs, and you see someone bust out of one of the guest rooms, dragging a small child.
Not a kiddo.
You feel all of a sudden, boom,
Oh god.
as the sigil that Fish successfully cast. The Ghost Eater finally reached far enough to be in range of it and failed the saving throw. It is
Yes.
it is pushed back slightly. Fish can feel almost like the resistance on the wall of this wave, and you can tell that this is not going to be enough to make it, like, force it to go away. This is absolutely something that is annoying it and is affecting it, so you know now that it is some sort of undead creature.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't get its teeth into it. And you can feel that this is kind of the final straw, and the fear effect lessens ever so slightly and then gets stronger. And where is Isle located? Isle, it would be like at the bottom of the stairs in the living room where the guy with the cot and Chris had been before Mettle went upstairs. Okay. Then that means Fish and Cow, give me perception checks with disadvantage to see out the window.
I just realized I didn't roll my wisdom with disadvantage, but it didn't really matter.
It does not matter for saving throws.
Oh, okay.
It does not affect saving throws. If I did make it affect saving throws, that would be the most powerful ability on Earth, and I strongly considered it, but didn't.
Okay. So this was with disadvantage. So the lower roll.
Mhm.
That'll be a 3.
That's a 2 for me.
Oh my god, you guys.
What both of you see is a shadow go across the window of a figure. Maybe humanoid. You didn't see well enough to see. But it turns towards you, and you can see it focusing on the two of you. For just a moment, you see a glowing green eye. And then it turns, you get a sense of size, lankiness. It's large, but folded up, trying to take up a smaller space than it is. And then it turns and it disappears, running away. Everybody's awake in the house. They're like, "What the fuck? Oh my god!"
Damn it!
The guy who dragged his daughter out of the guest room. They are both crying. were like right next to Mettle, and he was like, "We saw it. It was coming through the window. Just saw a hand, and it was coming through the window."
I was like, "What did it look like? Where did it go?" She's not nice about it.
No.
Isle runs upstairs to interrogate this poor crying man,
Crying.
while the rest of the
Shaking
clan
him.
members that are staying in this house come out from the rooms across the way and are now witnessing this. Let me see how good of a look he got at it. You know what? Decent. He said he describes it as a the words he uses are a fucked up person. It was so tall and long fingers are the words.
Great.
And
Salad fingers.
what you piece
Slenderman?
together, when you
Literally.
piece together what happened.
I was like, little girl, you got anything better for me? No.
No, that was for both of them.
Okay.
Um,
Those the combined
What you
efforts.
put together that they witnessed is, first of all, they saw a little bit of its face, and it was standing face to face, looking through them through this window on the second story of a house.
No!
I'm scared.
So it is
I'm
very
spooked.
large.
Patrick, it's too
Ew.
late to be this spoopy.
Well,
that-
18-foot daddy.
And that it never made
Size
any
difference.
noise. You're gross. It never made any noise, but it managed to hook a long, incredibly broken fingernail under the windowsill, click the lock, start to push it open, and there was just enough slack in the wires. I rolled for this. There was just enough slack in the wires that it could make a space in the window without tripping them, and it started pushing in an incredibly long, multi-jointed hand reaching for the side table where an Ice Heart house was. And then just as they were running out of the room, the little girl looked back, and the Ice Heart was just inside the protection zone of Fish's sigil. And as it activated and pushed out, it pushed against its hand. Now that the alarm was going, it pulled its whole hand out, snapping the wires, ducked down, looked through the window at Fish and Cal, ran off into the night.
Let's stay out.
Yeah.
Bye,
It
bitch.
won't.
You feel the fear effect on all of you lessen and then disappear, as it seems to be truly gone, in that it is no longer close enough to trigger this effect. Based on the rolls that Fish and Kekino have made in regards to this fear effect, you get the sense that far enough away to not activate this effect is far. It is not out of eyesight. So it could still potentially be close enough to be watching the house, but
Close the blinds.
is not very close.
Can Isle
And-
look out the window and see if she can see anything?
Yes, give me a perception check with disadvantage because it's dark and there's a bunch of woods.
Yeah, that's 13. Oh. Telling me I can't see a 20-foot giant freak loping about.
I need to double check something.
Yeah.
I was honestly envisioning it as like a like mist this whole time.
Yes,
Didn't think it was going to be a
exactly,
thing.
same.
Sassiest bitch.
Yeah.
Literally.
I didn't
I
buy
guess
that
he's
for a
just-
second.
No, it's a physical thing.
He looks like Prismo from Adventure Time to me, but
and
evil.
sliding along. Yeah, but scary shadow colors.
He actually rolled or it rather, rolled just high enough on its stealth that
Damn
you
it.
can't see it. But
Damn
I
it.
will say that far away into the woods for just a moment, you can see a glimmer of green as if it's looking at you, and then it disappears.
What sort of
Cool.
Great Gatsby
Chill.
bullshit was obviously Isle probably wouldn't. Well, can she make the connection? She saw that big footprint in the woods. Can she be like, it was probably the 20-foot tall monster?
Yep.
Cool.
And in
Fair
fact,
enough. Fair
that seems about right
I
for
was like,
the
that's not a huge leap,
the
I
size.
don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I hate this. Ooh, it's a spooky
Um,
guy.
Yeah,
Why
It's
the
just a
fuck
guy.
a monster?
No,
weird?
it's just a guy. A guy can be killed.
Yeah.
Metal,
I forgot to do the
use your
glass.
pen.
That's what
when
I
we
was
get
thinking.
to
I was
the
like, time to murder.
That could be cool.
Yeah. All right.
Data.
Well, the house is in a uproar. People are very scared because of the alarm. You can see that the other houses, people are getting out. Most of them are kind of like half dressed, but they've grabbed weapons. Some of them have clearly like hunkered up in the houses, using kind of the windowsills as perches for some. Small rifles and like small game guns, and others braver have actually run out of the houses towards where you guys are. You see Sarah kind of leading the charge, just absolutely shoulder check the back door, breaking the lock, and coming in and checking on people. And the whole clan is kind of up and in a hubbub. People are very scared, but they're kind of realizing that maybe it's okay and no one was hurt this time.
Is anyone heading towards the woods?
No. Sarah wants to and
I
starts
think
like
Isle would
looking
also
in that
want to.
direction. And Chris grabs her shoulder and talks to her and kind of talks her out of it, like how bad of an idea it would be. Does Isle want to go?
I think Isle probably watches that exchange and is like, whatever. Fine, I'll stay.
Sounds like a great idea for me.
Yeah. Isle does think she's better than Sarah, but she's probably like, I would still get killed.
I'm
Fair
not
enough.
immune to 20-foot freaky bitches.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Isle's not nearly as spooked as Vienna is in this case. Vienna is easily spooked.
No, very valid. And Sarah does an extra lap around the
Can
house,
someone shut these dogs up?
checking on everything. Yeah. Yeah, sure. And
Sarah kills all the dogs.
The dogs suddenly are silent.
and then
And now
Replaces them with
crickets.
crickets.
and then the Sarah comes in and she is looking at all of you, and she turns to Fish. She's like, "Are you all right?"
Yes, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yep.
Oh, and yeah, the others too. You guys all good? Kind of turning away from to Cal and Mettle and Isle.
Cal's
think-
still holding on to Kakano, and I think it's just Isle being there, being like, I probably shouldn't cling to her partners. Feel our hands are almost touching. Ew. And then, like, at this point, let's go, Kakano.
Goodbye. I think
Metal's
Isle's.
I was gonna say Metal's just like checking in with Cal now. So she's kind of leaning over towards her, but she's like, I'm okay.
Isle's seeing if there's any weird dead shit, weird dead, anti-dead, or undead animals, or any. I guess just verifying that it's the same, like, there is no life here or anything that she had seen before.
Give me a investigation or survival check.
Cool. That's a nat fucking 20.
Ah.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
I really thought that was going to go
Pointless.
nat wine.
No.
I thought you were gonna say.
No,
Which one
rolled
did
a
you
nat.
pick?
Let's find out. I think probably survival. I am picking survival because that is +5.
Okay, so it's a total of 25.
Very nice.
With a 25, you can circle.
Isle's got her
outside.
nose on the ground. She has
Yeah.
grown a tail. She's like,
Sniffing around, finding those clues.
yes.
You,
Clues.
you search around
Isle
outside
has
the
her
house.
handy dandy notebook fucking out.
Mhm. And you find some footprints, seemingly not a complete set, and they're very light in the ground, as if
Are they large?
They are large. They are the
Ooh, he
same.
was
In fact, the same
tiptoeing.
footprints you've seen before, but they are not particularly deep in the ground. They're very subtle footprints, as if
This
whatever.
thing only weighs 3
People?
apples heavy.
Yeah,
Oh
or
my
it was.
god,
It
Hello
was
Kitty,
huge.
what happened to you?
Oh, Hello Kitty.
Oh, Hello Kitty, we really in it now.
Mhm. And so you would probably not seen these without a better, without such a high check. And you can track them slightly back into a stand of trees that is not quite in the woods, but is in the direction of the woods, kind of halfway between Chris's house and the woods that you came from. And you lose the tracks kind of after there. You see kind of the general direction it ran back towards the woods. And as you hunt around, you also don't find any other tracks of any kind that are noticeable. You know, a decent amount of human footprints that are not out of the ordinary. And you know, this is a town. But you don't see any like paw prints from any wolves or any other creatures. You don't notice any like feelings of corruption, like the Ghost Eater or one of its minions had been here for like a significant amount of time. Although there is one small spot you find in the stand of trees that feels a little cold and gross to your senses, which is maybe like the Ghost Eater waited here to
That's where the
observe
Ghost
the
Eater
house
peed.
for a little bit of time. Yeah, where the Ghost Eater peed. And you
Moody.
feel,
There's a lot of piss in these games.
yeah, and it's all Vienna every time.
It wasn't me, someone else was talking about it before. No, Moody
Who?
Yeah, it was
Just
you. You
you.
said Isle goes out to pee. I didn't say Isle goes
Okay,
out
I
to
only
pee.
say that because you've been talking about pee
Yeah.
so much.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
you've
blame
been
it
talking
on
about Isle
me.
going out to pee. You've been talking about Isle going out to take a shit in the woods. Last episode, you were like, I'm going to track Chris by his scat. That's all you. But additionally, you notice that all the local animals had gotten like kind of quiet and kind of run from the area. They are now returning and everything seems okay. So you don't think that there were any kind of minions or wolves or anything else. It was probably just the Ghost Eater, and you know that it's not there now.
Cool. Cool. What happened?
What was that
to you?
reaction?
You're right.
His conversations killed them.
Minions.
Fuck. No.
As he runs away into the woods,
Don't bring those yellow bitches into my
yellow
dojo.
skin, the straps of overalls,
No.
the green light and reflection on the goggles.
Guru, get your people, your children in control.
At first I was chuckling because when you mentioned that the animals would come back, my first thought was nature is healing, and then I heard Vienna say it, and I was like, I'm so glad we had that same thought, and so chuckling about that, and then minions, and I'm like, oh fuck.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's just a perfect storm.
All right. As you come back from this kind of like hunt to find clues, the clan has settled a little bit more, and you can see that basically some people are going back to sleep, or at least going to try to. The amount of people who are like staying up to do guard shifts is now fully like 50% of the people here.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're sitting at like every window, looking in every direction.
I think
Metal's gonna get the. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Metal's gonna get the book out that we need these two to read, and be like,
Yeah.
"Well, since we have time."
yeah. I think Isle will say, "Can we move the ice heart to a more central part of the home that is not near any windows?"
They have already done so,
Already.
and in fact, they have apologized to the
Inhabitant.
Yeah,
to
be
the
like,
inhabitant,
my bruh.
the young woman, and they have put the whole Ice Heart house in a safe that's sort of in the near the middle of the house in one of the closets.
He'll be alright.
Not like
Yeah,
Yeah.
what, huh? Is there a little window?
Yeah, this
They don't need-
gaseous bitch.
they don't need to breathe or anything, so
Nothing's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah, but I'm like,
harm
okay, so it was able to
Mads.
open a
you.
window,
Not while
but
I'm around. Sorry.
we're saying it's not going to be able to get through a safe.
I'm sure he's fine.
I mean, I will say
He doesn't know the combination.
Also, it's kind of
Not
like
that
a
smart.
thing of like you don't need perfect security, you just need it to be more difficult.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, it could like rip the safe out of the floor and take it probably, but then it's carrying this big thing.
Also, it could totally get the combination because it knew all my shit about my sister just by reading my mind. So
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
can read
Cal's
the
come to
safe's
this
mind.
conclusion, but Mooney
Look.
thinks this is bullshit.
I love the idea that it's
I will
crouching in
say
his house,
for
going like,
They put in a tiny
Mooney-
toy gun in the Ice Heart house.
Yeah. Yeah. Just point it at the door.
everything's
For Mooney's curiosity, since you brought it up, no. These effects you've been feeling, the nightmares, the hallucination of your sister, have not been anything the Ghost Eater has crafted. It is in fact an effect where your own mind is turning against you. That is
Or
your
my own mind could be like, it's 674.
Well, it's probably not psychic.
Inception. That's what the plot of Inception was.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you get out the book and you want to study it before going back to sleep. Because again, you can make the choice of not going back to sleep. You will not fully heal and get all your points back and everything.
I think we probably just stay up for like at least a little bit. You can't go back to bed after that, so
Al is super knackered, and she also just had a depressing dream instead of one that was
Yeah.
like actually keeping her from sleeping. It's also like a dream she's had before, so she's not like that too spooked to sleep. Honestly, the fear has just made her more exhausted.
Yeah.
So like she's staying up. She's not gonna die, but you can like she's swaying on her feet.
Okay, so I guess it's up to Mettle then if she wants to bring out the book now and do this now, or wait till like tomorrow morning, or what have you.
Metal's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I forgot to show you this earlier. I don't know if you wanna, if you feel like
Bedtime story.
maybe now's the time. We didn't find anything in it, but it just still seems really important. She had it locked in a drawer. Here you go.
Metal, you're great. You're a good kid. I think you're a good friend as well.
Well,
I think we might need a fucking minute.
okay." She's like, "Okay, that's fair. Just don't forget about it."
No.
I'll start just like leafing through the book because she doesn't know how not to be a workaholic. But she
All right.
is just
Well,
kind of
Fish
like
is just
drunk
like, no, thank you.
Like, I can't read.
Also,
Then I guess you sort of try to rest and recover, and then eventually fall back asleep.
no, hold on. Fish addresses like the room with silence and just goes, "Thank you, Fish."
Oh, Cal, yeah, like shoots her head up and goes, Thank you.
That was
Oh,
amazing.
you don't have to say it. You already did. You're all good.
Oh, okay.
And I take it back.
I take it back. I know.
Metal's like, I knew it was gonna work. I believed you guys. I'm very proud of you. That's amazing.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you, Mettle.
thank you, Fish.
I mean it, and I'm sorry I'm being an asshole about the book. I'm just very tired, you know.
That's okay, all right. Everybody's gonna lay down.
Yes,
Settle on down.
good idea.
Cal's like, what do you need me to read it for? What is it? Anything about ghosts or bones or?
I don't know. There were
Ghost
symbols in it.
bones.
There were symbols in it or whatever.
They're called letters.
Isle gives the deathiest death glare.
It was like tomorrow.
Symbols.
Okay, tomorrow.
Okay. She like, I think she goes like symbols. Okay, and then if you don't have any problem
Nope.
with this ink, I was gonna say I think Fish probably plucks it out of her hands and goes tomorrow.
Yep. Now we'll use the vine broom.
This bitch empty.
God.
As you all settle in to try to sleep, very uneasy at first, but you eventually manage to nod off. Swiftie has been staying by Cal since she became afraid, because both Mettle and
I was
Cal.
like, why is my leg bleeding?
What?
I was like, why is my leg bleeding?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Swiftie, since both Cal and Mettle are sleeping on the floor, is going to climb over Cal after she lays down and sleep between them, kind of stretched out, so she can touch both of you. You are sleep well, troubled by normal nightmares, the stress of being woken up in the middle of the night by something deadly, but nothing too bad. Except Fish experiences not a nightmare, not even really a dream, more an echo of a memory. And they are back in the place that is not death, but not quite life either, where a figure danced for them, cast magic, brought them back. And they remember the figure as he danced, dust kicked up at his feet, forming things that perhaps were symbols, or perhaps just motes of dust in the air, random patterns. He completes his dance, and he speaks to you, and it is just the words of the spell. But then at the end, just at the point where he gave you that little push back to life and awakeness, you remember and understand the words he spoke to you. You can see his mouth moving not in time with the language he is speaking, but something is reaching out and is translating between the two of you. And you understand what he said to you in that moment. He cast his spell, he looked at you with a little lopsided smile, and he said, "Can't die yet, Tama. Not when I only just found you." And that is what you remember of the place you went to. As you all wake up the next morning, after a pretty stressful night, you all sleep in a little bit because your sleep was interrupted. You are fully healed and recover all of your cast spell points, including Fish, the spell point you put into the symbol, since it has now been cast and activated, kind of burned out in the power that was used. You also recover that spell point, so you're also back up to full. Additionally, with having successfully cast symbol magic for the first time, based on Cal's notes and raw talent, you now have the ability to understand, to a very limited extent, symbols and the way they work. So I want you to add to your character sheet that you have in your proficiencies section. I want you to put symbol magic, parentheses, -8. You will get a -8 to all symbol magic rolls, but you will be able to roll for symbol magic, which no one else can do.
Cool.
Nice. Very nice.
Untrained as you are, it is a low chance that you will get really deep insight on any given symbol magic, but you can have some insight. You can understand symbol magic to a limited extent.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Brute force, new skill.
Very much so.
Amazing.
As you all wake up in the morning, the house is a little more active. People are sort of very cautiously coming and going, cooking breakfast, having kind of a communal meal. Everybody has something that can be used as a weapon close at hand. Some of them, it's their bows or their knives. Others, it's like a fire poker that they hope to swing at somebody.
Frying pan in hand.
Yeah. Very
Who knew,
tense
right?
moment in this morning, but it seems like everyone was okay and there were no more attacks in the night. And yeah, what do you want to do with your day?
Real
I
quick
think
question.
because oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Is this going in like language or object proficiency?
I'd say language. It's
Okay,
it's
cool.
not it's not really either, but language makes more.
Yeah. Okay, that's that.
Yeah, when she's like awake, and probably before she's even like ate anything, Cal is actually going through the book and seeing if she recognizes any of the symbols or if anything else stands out to her in spooky bitch knowledge.
Is anyone helping her with searching through?
LOL.
Iowa? Okay.
I'll be
Fish.
like, yeah, this thing was weird.
Yeah.
I hope you
Fish
can
will
find
have a look.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Io goes, yeah, this thing was weird, and Patrick goes, okay, -1 to whatever
Yeah.
you roll.
Disadvantage.
Whoever is helping can give Cal advantage. I can say both of you look through it, but it's going to be one of your rolls or the other. So I need either Cal or Fish to roll investigation with advantage.
Cool.
Since Isle is helping you, and especially can be like, yeah, here's some of the weird things we saw when we were flipping through it earlier.
Yeah.
I have a +5 to investigation. What about you?
I think that'd be good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, you
so
said
Just
with
still like
advantage.
scratching his ass, waking up. It's
Yeah.
just like,
It's just like, oh yeah, I dreamt about my guy.
my god. Okay,
That's going to be... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, it's 19,
Woo!
which is good because my first roll was a 1.
Woo!
All right.
What I was gonna say is I couldn't fully understand what it was that you said, Patrick, to Fish in the dream. I mean,
yeah, because I was speaking with a bad New Zealand accent.
Cool.
And this is something for Fish to know as well. You can't die yet, Tama. Not when I only just found you.
Okay.
This is
Tama,
gonna be about this is
Tamatilla?
finding Nemo. Fish's dad is looking for them.
maybe. Tama is a word you would know from the that fish would know from the Maori because it's a very common word.
It
And
means baby boy.
it does in the same way that in English we would use son or sonny. It is a term
sport.
of endearment, especially for masculine people, but is technically gender neutral, that you would say to a nephew or a favored youngster, someone you had more of a mentor relationship with, or if you were old enough, you just, a kid in the store. But it also does literally mean my son.
It's funny.
My favorite youth.
This is my little guy.
And yeah, that's a mystery for another time.
Oh, yeah. I
Love
guess,
it.
yep.
Can I run to
Mhm.
the bathroom really quick before
We do book stuff.
I
Revelations.
die? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, BRB, sorry.
I also will. Also, I might probably in like the next half hour need to peace out.
Yeah. We can sort of wrap it up.
But I'm also gonna go to the restroom.
I mean, we're 3 hours in, so
Yeah, no, this is about where I expected.
how many Shreks
Lovely
are we
seeing
gonna watch on Tuesday?
I think we will limit it to Shrek 1, and then we can have a future day that's Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is too good of a movie to watch back to back with another movie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Also, yes, I agree. Ink. It was a good scene. I think all of these scenes with Fish, this bit have been interesting. All these flashbacks. I like how Cal's nightmare was.
It was sad.
You fucking, you're alone.
Yeah.
Too real, man.
Anyway, how about that Isle family intrigue, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I really. Patrick is gonna introduce the people actually going after, Isle and her murder family, and I'm gonna be like, no, it's skullduggery.
Yeah.
I think if Skullduggery knew about a murder family Robinson, he would be like, this is right up my alley.
Mm-hmm. Murder alley.
I think also realistic is he would completely forget that Isle existed, and then like in 50 years when he's working with Valkyrie, somebody is like, yeah, I saw someone who's a shapeshifter into a moose, and he'd be like, shit.
Oh, yeah.
We need to
It's
investigate
like, oh
that.
yeah, they had a fucking daughter. Now, are we gonna say that Fish has had enough time to finish their notes?
What notes?
That they're writing to Isle and Sarah?
Yes.
Oh.
They've finished. They've
Oh,
definitely.
I thought it was note taking, not like dear
No,
Fish, dear
notes as
Sarah.
in messages.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Why doesn't Cal
Yeah.
get a love note, huh?
No, you absolutely had enough time before the Ghost Eater came just during your watch shift to write those out.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally 4 points each. So, like, it is in note form, these note messages. They're two things that are one thing. That are one thing that are two things.
Do you want to know your nightmare, or are we waiting for the others to come back?
Oh, let's have everyone know when we got about it. Or fuck them, who cares?
Comfy, cozy Vienna.
I knocked down like 20 things.
Anyway, everyone say thank you to the 5 kangaroos.
Yeah.
They did it for us.
Thank you, Lady Squishmallow.
Lady Squishmallow. You need to show Ink her ears.
Oh my god!
I'm very
Yes! Oh, that looks so good. Hell yeah.
I had to get a piece of cake.
I debated getting a bowl of cereal, but I was like, I'm gonna spill it on my laptop, so I'll do it after.
I will also eat afterwards.
Yeah,
When me.
Patrick made me eat a big snack.
I made you eat a big snack. Yeah, because I knew it'd be going this late, and you'd be very upset if you hadn't had dinner.
Good. Everyone needs a snack.
So we come in on the natural 19 of Cal, Fish, and Isle searching through this book. The book seems to be a collection of legends and tales by the Cree. Although, according to the info that I assume Isle would have shared with you as part of the help action, Tenna at least maybe believed that this was clan lore that was used to be when the clan was larger and more important, and before they became kind of assimilated into the Cree when other people didn't know that they were their own separate thing. And as you look through it, you realize that a lot of it is familiar. A lot of it is like very similar or the same legends that you read in some of the other books at the library. The difference is that these are unedited and have references that are a little more mystical and are a little less clean, a lot more warning about a thing, and a lot less, moral of the story at the end. Very much like a Grimm's fairy tales versus a more modern fairy tale retelling. This is the perhaps more accurate to the true stories, but much darker version. And as you are flipping through, Isla's like, oh yeah, there's that. And there is a picture of a symbol on the page. And you do recognize it as the symbol that was on Fish's forehead before they bit Sarah. And you look at the caption underneath, and you say, you see a note from the author from this book written in the 1600s. That
Don't use this one.
Yeah, don't use this one. Absolutely not. You can see that that the author's note is when my guide described the mark of this beast, I asked him to draw it for me, and he did not wish to out of fear that it would summon the creature. However, he sketched pieces of it that I have reconstructed in this image. And you flip back 2 pages, and you see that this belongs to a story called Mesekwisu and the Wintico. And as you read through that story, you find a much messier tale of the Wintico than you found in the library books. Tale of a young hunter going out to the ice and coming across a man seemingly starved, changed, sickly in the way that the wolves were, and with this mark seeming to have been burned onto his shoulder. And you get out of this story that a Wintico is a undead spirit of extreme hunger, and that while most of the legends you read were about coming to people lost on the ice and somehow converting them into Wendigos, or that those who were hungry enough to eat human flesh would transform into Wendigos. This tells a story that is perhaps a little more magically accurate, rings a bit more true to how you know that magic works and what you've seen. And what you get is that a Wendigo feeds off of hunger. And by doing so, it makes a connection with animals if it needs to, but preferably people. And the people it makes a connection to slowly starve and grow sick and change, and in exchange also gain a certain amount of power and ability that the Wendigo grants them. And there are very specific descriptions of a fear effect, that being in the presence of a Wendigo causes uncontrollable fear, that a Wendigo can breathe hunger, and that a human who has entered a pact into a Wendigo will be fed on and changed until they slowly become a Wendigo themselves. And there is no sort of sketch of this creature in the book, but it is described as a humanoid, tall, skinny, a distortion of the human form, a corruption of the human form, as if a human person was stretched. And so you get from this that you are probably facing a Wendigo. This doesn't totally match with what you've seen. There's nothing to suggest why one would go after an ice heart. And this story, as well as the ones you read in the library, are that Wendigos are much farther north in the true ice, not in just the pine forest. So you don't know why one would be here, but the mark that you saw on fish doesn't lie. You think this is a Wendigo. The Ghost Eater is a Wendigo that you're dealing with. And also, with that high investigation, you realize the point of this story is not about the Wendigo. It's about who the Wendigo connects with. So you are not hunting one being. You are hunting the Ghost Eater, and however many people or creatures serve it, and it serves. The wolves that it fed on seem to be dead and gone, but there could be others, animal or human.
Maybe somebody who's like a little hungry for knowledge, perhaps.
Yeah, Caliginous kind of is like reading this, and then she's just like thinking very, very deeply. So she's like, what we are dealing with is supposed to only live very far deep on the ice. What would draw it out would be wrongful burials or disrupted burials. The mortal life.
There is nothing in the story that indicates any kind
But that
of...
was my other one.
burial.
It was
Yes.
it was in the other one, yeah.
Yeah, it was in the other book. There was spirits and ghosts that get revenge for improper burials.
Cal is going, I've connected the dots.
Which is not what this is. Yes, but there's seems to be no connection with burials or bodies with the Wendigo. In all the stories you've seen, the pattern seems to be somebody is alone and hungry in a very hostile environment, and the Wendigo comes to them and finds them.
Patrick's like,
I'm still
You
going,
haven't
I
completed-
connected the dots. Unless you
I know it has to be.
Swifty. Swifty,
No,
you
it's-
have to explain yourself. Sorry, Randy, please continue.
guys.
Swiftie has a little
Yeah.
pattern on their fur of that.
yeah, their tuxedo pattern. Patrick, are you saying that I could not, for any reason, come to this conclusion, or
No,
are you saying
absolutely not.
that
You can
conclusion
absolutely
wrong?
go down this wrong conclusion. I'm just telling you the evidence does not support that. If you were like, Cal believes this is true because it makes a certain amount of sense, I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. It does make a certain amount of sense. And if Cal believes that, go nuts. I'm just saying there is nothing in this evidence that you're seeing that points you in that direction.
All right, fine. I will, for the sake of your nitpicky ass, say that she explicitly says in the library book there was a mention of disrupted burial, which made, and she says, the only disrupted burials I know of are the ones that were committed by the mortal in his mortal institution.
Isle says, but it seems like this has only been a recent problem. I wonder what has changed recently that would bring it here.
I feel like it was a recent issue, right? With the Martin and the buying of the body.
From what you know and have heard from Elder Longfisher and the discussions about it, the issues with the Ghost Eater have been occurring for about 2 months or so, but really, really intensely in the last week. This is like, they didn't even know there was something in the woods because activity was so rare. The body is actually something that dates back a little bit longer. The university acquired this like 5-6 years ago, and it's just kind of been this ongoing fight about them being like, hey, that's not really respectful, you should rebury this body, and then the university being like, well, we want to study it, and it's like, no, we really, really think you should do this. And it's like, oh, but it's important, I'm writing a paper on it. Like, the current anger and hostility towards Martin and the people he works for is something that is built over a long time of like, we are trying to get you to do the right thing and you have just refused because we're a bunch of Indians in Quebec.
Okay. So in response to what Isle says, I think Cal nods and says, yes, but Tenna wasn't buried.
Isle says, it's true. I guess we don't actually know, though.
I know.
You know? Okay, then yeah.
You know that she wasn't buried anywhere close to the house.
Yeah, I think I
right.
think I will say she knows she was not like buried by the house, and she also knows that the town did not give her the send off.
Yeah.
So enough to conclude.
Yeah.
And also that someone died, and then a day later, all the cats died, and then the car went missing.
Yeah.
So someone may have moved the body to the car and then taken it to a secondary location.
Ghost Eater in the car, like a little clown car.
Yeah, completely folded in there.
Just a convertible with his ass in the air, like those guys really intense on a bike.
Yeah.
Like a jockey.
So Mettle's like, so if we think it's Martin, maybe it just shares Martin's interests, and that's why it was trying to hit up the Ice Heart not a few hours ago. So maybe.
Caliginous sighs, and she says, truthfully, I am having difficulty making too much heads or tails of the situation. I do not really care to ask Sarah too much about her thoughts on this. Perhaps if Elder Longfisher was more readily available, I would consult with her, but I believe we need to just have our own investigation.
Well, I can talk to Sarah.
You don't think Sarah wants to talk to you?
You don't know that.
I do. Mettle, I believe you also know that. Isle definitely knows that.
What if we just talk to Martin? Is that a bad idea?
As long as we tell people where we're going, I don't think a mortal could be much of a match against 4 sorcerers.
We'll tell
he
Sarah that we're
he
going
could
to
if
see
he's got
him.
the ghost eater on his side.
At this, Cal's like, Sarah may wish to attempt just to physically beat Martin, which could be helpful at some point.
Okay, so you want to go interview Martin. You have been told that he
Interview.
that he lives in town.
Kill aggressively.
He lives in town.
Forcefully question.
Who do you tell that you're leaving and what happens?
I will say, if you are that confident, you may ask if Sarah wants to accompany us. It says that to Fish.
Okay. I'll tell her what's going on. And I'll catch you guys on the way. And so Fish, gathers up Kekano, goodbye, and walks and goes to find Sarah.
So overdramatic.
Yes.
As you walk out of the house and start looking around for Sarah, you actually see her leave another one of the houses, and she is wiping her face because she is very clearly been crying recently and is trying not to show it, and is kind of walking in the direction of Chris's house, like she was going to go share news when she sees you, and you can kind of meet her in the middle, this place between the houses.
Fish goes, this is a bad time.
Yeah, I mean, Fish, they're all bad times, so, just get fucked, and what is it that you want to tell me?
I just wanted to say I'm sorry, and we're gonna go. We have possibly a lead, and I will hopefully bring back good news for you. Is that okay?
You have a lead, like you know who did this.
No, nothing as concrete as that. We're trying to find out who did. We think we may have a path on that direction.
All right. Sorry, I'm just... Fuck you. Like, flips you off of how dare you see me being vulnerable. But it's kind of like, I just got off the phone with Grandma, and I told her about Tenna. Do you think this is related to Tenna in some way?
I do, yeah. I do.
Okay, and I'm going with you.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
I was like, you had one job!
Yeah.
Fish, just sort of offers their arm. I don't know, they don't even know what they're doing. Just going, I'm here. Hit me if you like. I don't know. Push me into the nearest body of water. You like to do that?
No, I'll throw you into the bay.
That was I'll.
Right.
Yeah.
All you women are the same.
Sarah touches your arm very briefly, and then it turns out she's just moving your arm to scoop Kekano out of your arms, and she just pushes his side to her face and goes, "Ah!"
Yep, let it all out.
Hands you back Kekano, and he goes, there, I think. And Sarah visibly kind of pulls herself back together and is like, okay. Grandma is gathering up everyone, and they're coming to town this afternoon because clearly we can't be apart and it's not safe. and they're going to bring everything. So a lot more fighters and hopefully a lot more safety.
Tell them to bring
She's
the ice hearts.
she's taking she's bringing the ice hearts. She's taking tennis.
Better just leave all these guys unguarded.
No, I mean they know that's the target. So, just let me tell Chris and some of the others what's happening, and to open up some of the other houses, make some more beds, and I'll get my rifle and we'll head out. And she just brushes past you and is heading towards the back door of Chris's house where the others are. Gives him a nod when she walks through, talks to Chris briefly, goes back across to where she was sleeping and grabs her rifle. And as she's kind of getting situated, she's just like, who is it, by the way? Who's doing this?
Where that fucking guy, Martin Greer.
I really wanted Fish just to say, the guy, that fucking guy, you know.
Yeah.
The motherfucker.
You know the one.
One with the face. Sarah is shocked and is very, very angry. And you can see her almost subconsciously kind of rub a little bit at the bandage of where her neck was torn out. And she is like, I am going to stomp that motherfucker into the ground. You better fucking keep up. And she turns around and is just striding off, going towards Martin's house. You gotta get everybody and like run afterwards.
Oh my god. Wait, we can't let Sarah knock on the door.
Fish says this to themselves because, like, they're the star of a, movie, and so like they have their own like little things that the audience needs to hear, and they go, "I wouldn't miss it for the world." Scrambles and is now just like, okay, fine, guys, she's coming and she's also going. She's gone.
Cal goes, we can't interrogate him if he's unconscious, and starts running after.
What's our ploy, guys? Are we gonna like have Mettle knock on the door like she's a Girl Scout? We're like, hello,
You're a Girl Scout.
Everything's good.
Based on the size of the town, you have probably like 10 to 15 minutes to figure that out as Sarah plows off across town to a place you've never been before, so she could be reaching it at any moment. But
Cal's just running. She's like,
she's not really involved in this planning.
Need to ask questions.
She does genuinely look like she would just break in and kill him without further evidence. There has been a lot of bad stuff in her life recently, and she has finally found a target to take it out on.
Yep.
Can I like cast like summon wind or something, or is she too far ahead of us?
Blow us.
You can all kind of jog and catch up with her.
Okay. I'm like, wait, Sarah.
Okay, I, me, Inc. have a question, which is, did Martin, like, notice the party? I mean, like, I know that he knows what Cal looks like, but did he notice Mettle, Fish, and Isle? Like, does he know?
I
Did he
think,
be...
it was like, didn't he interact very briefly with Fish?
Did he? I don't even remember that.
I think so. When he was talking to Elder Longfisher, I think you were like, hey, my guy!
Yeah.
That
I
sounds
think
right.
Isle was next to him when he was trapped in like the cube of darkness that Cal
No,
put him
Isle
in.
wasn't there.
I was hunting.
Yeah, that's when...
hunting fish.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
But there was a Martin interaction earlier when they were in town and they were talking. He was talking to Elder Longfisher, and I thought I remember Fish briefly talk to him.
Very beginning, before you were even introduced to the clan, when you first got to the clan lands, was Martin being like kicked out and dragged away and having an argument with Elder Longfisher. And he saw all four of you and made a point of being like, why the fuck do they get to be here and I don't? And Elder Longfisher was like, because they were invited and you're not. And then I'm pretty sure Fish came up and was like, yeah, hey, how's it going? And then he left. So he
Now look
definitely
what you
saw
did.
you all.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily remember you all, but there's a good chance he does. So
That's a shame, because I was really banking on my Better Call Saul idea.
I
Wish I knew
think
what
we
Better Call
can-
Saul was.
Vienna, you never replied to our sneaky group chat,
No, I didn't. I didn't see it.
but you
Well,
did
and
read
now
it. Okay.
Yes. Now we've outed the fact that we have a sneaky group chat.
Oh,
no,
no.
Looney told me that you have a
okay,
sneaky group
good.
chat.
All right, go.
And then it was
Copy.
like, are you plotting against me in there? And she went, yes. And that's what I know.
Oh, there's a message. Hold on, there's a message in the sneaky group chat. Sorry.
Oh, what?
It says
Patrick's
it,
butt.
yeah, it says
You took a
Patrick,
picture of my butt?
we don't like you.
Does it look good? It's a lot rounder than it used to be. I've gained weight.
No, really filling out there.
Thank you.
That's the butt we saw when we looked up Ink's name.
Oh shit!
The dots.
Let's see.
Well, okay, so
we can
do
also,
we need
like,
a
have
good
this
cop?
discussion real time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
no.
why I'm
It was
switching.
just funny. Yes.
The secret plan may be tabled for another day. So
Yes.
anything that involves the secret plan will be on the group chat. But just general, I was like, we need a good cop.
I will
Yes.
say, this was the point going to Martin's house that I figured we would end at because Vienna is very creepy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So
But I want to
before-
have a plan, and I want to
before
figure
that
out how we're
conversation-
stopping.
We before that confrontation, we will close the actual session for today, and then discussing plans of like what you're gonna do when you get there can absolutely be now.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And if you want to have private plans, I can leave.
You can leave.
But
No, it's okay. Again, I think we're tabling the sneaky plan.
Patrick's like,
Yeah.
Martin's not at his house. Oops, sorry. He left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Sarah's
He's
off.
murdering
We're
more
all off
people.
after
We're gonna
her,
go
to
in
be
and Martin's
continued.
gonna be dead. I'm just gonna say that
Maybe.
now.
Whoa. I don't know, y'all.
Kitten's gonna be like, I did it!
I
So wait
killed
for this
him.
cat to bite me.
It was I that set the house ablaze. My favorite image.
Hmm.
Well, I'm scared.
All right, is anybody jumping out?
I probably will have to. I do want to know what Fish's nightmare was, and then I will die.
Okay. I can speak on that briefly before you guys start planning.
Is that okay?
Yes, we'll just
in
catch you
fact,
up later.
While you were in the bathroom, I was like, "Hey, Fish, want to know the nightmare?" And Ink was like, "No, we'll wait till everyone's back."
You're
Thank
so
God.
smart. You're so
No.
smart.
So, I
Yeah, no, you never get to know.
what do you think? I kind of just want to tell what it was. Should I do a full performance?
It was a threesome with
can do
Isle
how-
and Sarah, and then Isle and Sarah bit each other's necks out.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say they take off their masks and they're both Cal. You are not
Oh,
my
God.
type!
Look, we'll probably do a face reveal, and Fish will be like, "Oh, you are my type, actually. I was
You know something.
mistaken."
Kyle's hot.
Patrick,
So-
you tell however you like.
Yeah. So Fish's nightmare was Fish waking up in a sort of liminal space that seems to be sort of based on the Australian outback, but is sort of sketchy in its features. Nothing very definite that would tell you where you were. And in front of you is standing Teacher, but his eyes are black entirely. No whites of his eyes. and he looks at you on the ground, and he essentially says, you attacked a friend of yours. You betrayed your friends. I didn't raise you to be this way. You are an evil creature, and I am going to put you out of your misery. I'm sorry about this. And he was going to take out his casting bone and prepare to blast you into smithereens. And then out from behind him steps your mother. And she says, Jonas Daniel Wrightwood, I did not raise you to be like this. You are a shame on your family, on our name, and you will never be more than a half-breed. And her eyes are also black. Isle steps out, Sarah, others from your life, other people with pitch black eyes that you feel that you've let down, and they hate you so deeply for what you've done to them. And as they start to attempt to beat you to death under their criticism, was when you would have woken up.
Ouchie, mama!
Yeah.
Crying,
It's a
screaming,
rough
throwing up.
one. That's why it's like I could never do a character that's like has the same fears I do, because then I'd get a nightmare like this and I'd be like, cool, time to kill myself. Anyway, here's a capybara.
Oh, nice. We like a capybara.
And yes, and I'll talk about this with Mooney, but if you didn't realize it already, this is not the investigation, going to the clan, doing a ceremony arc. This is the horror arc.
Yeah, I like
can't
a horror
guarantee
arc.
nightmares as a major character growth thing after this, but yeah, you are getting them all now.
I love it. Okay, I just want to say that all of the nightmares and also Fish's little like memory with their teacher, masterpiece, chef's kiss. I'm obsessed. My mouth made me so sad.
Thank you.
I love
it, Patrick. Brilliant.
I'm dying. I'm sweating.
Feels
Anyway.
weird to receive compliments, but thank you. But yeah, really tried.
You make me so sweaty.
Yeah, you make me so sweaty. Tried to make it really scary, and entirely separate from that, if you fall under the effects of your greatest fear spell, there's a different thing that happens. The nightmare you just had is not really your greatest fear. There's something else that may be coming if that gets you.
Guys, is it boss fight next week? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, next
We beat Martin, and then
next week is Shrek night, which is definitely boss night.
Yes, next night is Shrek and Sketch.
Shrek and Sketch! Oh my god, that's great. You're missing out, Vanna.
I know I am.
We're gonna have Shrek 2 and Sketch 2. It's fine.
Yeah, this isn't going to be the only one. Although I will say, not to tell anyone your business, I was told about where your trip is.
I'm going to Disney World.
Oh my god!
I know. I was like, I will be in Mad's land.
Yeah.
I just show up at your house.
Yeah, just get ice cream.
Yeah.
At like 10 p.m. because Mads' ice cream place is open really fucking late for some reason.
No, that was
bizarre.
Probably on a weekend that isn't this week, I will just show up in Florida.
Get ice cream with no warning.
No, and then I'll just go back the next day. Like, yeah.
Oh my god, was Madison in? She's just on her break. Oh, fuck. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow.
Awkward.
I'm not saying I'm not saying like ditch Disney and go to Mad's house for Shrek and sketch, but I'm
no.
saying you'll be in the area if you
No.
have a free moment and you want to
Yeah.
like meet in person or whatever.
Oh my god!
Yeah. I mean,
That's
only if
exciting.
Mads would be okay with me marching into. Yeah, we
My
can.
job.
Yeah.
I will say Sarasota is like 2 or 3 hours from Orlando.
I was gonna say, I know
Okay.
you're
That might
not
not be
close.
convenient.
Not
So-
super close. Yeah.
What airport are you closest to? You told me, I forgot.
I like TPA or SRQ
Okay.
is like
Thank you
either
for
one is
speaking in
fine.
airport code. That is great.
You're
for me.
welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I was like, that's your language.
She was talking to us in airport code about her flights when she was
We
here.
were
and I was like,
like-
translation, Vienna. I
You were
don't
like, where the
understand
fuck
what
is
you're talking about."
Snaw?
Literally.
Salt Lake City? What? Why would I know that?
For real. I will say SRQ is easier.
Yes.
If I were to go to an airport, that one was easier, but it's smaller and apparently more expensive. I've only learned about airports recently, so
Yeah.
Just as a concept.
just
No, genuinely,
Genuinely.
your first flight was like what, like 3 months ago?
it was in
Oh,
October.
congrats. That's
Thanks.
fun.
And then since then, I've learned quite a bit.
Yeah, but people get in the air in metal tubes, and they take off, and they're off the ground.
And then
It's
you jump
pretty- you
out
can
and
just
you
go
see the
where you
house you want to go to.
Yeah.
Right. Ink, what's your closest airport? I'm compiling my list.
Or stalker list.
Just Sydney.
Cool. That's fine.
Like we just
Period.
have Sydney, and like the national and international are right next to each other.
Noted.
Oh!
Noted.
You okay?
Sorry, the cats are fighting.
Oh,
I
dear.
heard like.
Here, you get to see.
Oh,
no.
shit.
Oh,
Stop
no.
it.
Guys, come on.
They're so
Nobody's in a
baby.
submissive pose too, and Noodle's like, I don't care, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Noodle, that he's a fucking asshole. He's the mean older brother bully.
No fighting. Oh.
No fighting. Shakira voice.
Okay.
Right. Oh. Oh.
Getting real.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, isn't there? I felt like there were a couple small airports around Sydney.
I can.
You know. Obviously, Vienna is probably going to be flying into the international airport, but there's a couple around there. Is Sydney International like the closest for you or easiest?
Yeah, the city is like an hour away.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I'm just saying like, oh, Camden, Wilton, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh
those
no,
are-
Camden would be fucking ridiculous.
Alright.
Here's my traveling news. In January, I'm going to Texas because 2 of my friends are
Texas?
getting married.
That's so exciting!
Yeah.
I will say,
I'm-
I would have usually said I would never go to Texas under any
But
circumstance.
now
I would go to
that-
Texas to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We crashed the wedding.
I'm super happy to do it. These 2 are like some of my oldest friends, internet friends, obviously.
Mhm.
And like 5 years ago now, it was like, yes, I love that you guys are together, and now it's like, yes, you guys are getting fucking married. So if I wanted to, I
love
could
weddings.
probably like make an event out of it, and so it's like, go to the wedding, travel further. Who knows?
Yeah, I will also say from what I know about the airline routes, a lot of the ones from Eastern Australia to the United States go through California anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's a because we're a major stopover point for the big internationals going over the Pacific. So it honestly wouldn't even be hard if you wanted to come in as part of the trip to visit in California. Additionally, I have never been to Texas, but I have a bunch of family members who are in Texas, and my parents have gone and visited them like 3 or 4 times now, and we could probably take a visit there and visit them and then see you in Texas. So
Oh my god.
All right, that's a plan. Okay, let's let Vienna go, and then we can.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. And I'm still recording because I wanted to
Well.
get the plans on tape.
Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Do you
I
remember?
was like, the plan is kill him, and then walks out the
Yeah.
door.
Very much.
Oh.
Right. Good night, and,
Oh my god, Ink's dying right now. I have to make sure Ink's alive, and then I'll leave.
Yeah.
This is the saga that I'm fascinated with.
Noodle,
So
stop.
we're gonna have Shrek and
No.
Sketch,
No.
Yes.
and then we're gonna have Shrek the number 2, and Sketch, comma TOO.
Very good. Shrek 2 and Sketch 2.
I like that you guys get to sketch
Yes,
because you've
and
seen the movie
also-
before, and I get to focus.
Yeah,
to
you're
watch
gonna
this
be
movie.
transported.
Yeah. No, it's great. Hey, Ink's alive.
Okay,
Oh my
I
God.
just wanted to make sure you were alive, Ink.
Dinosaur pants.
We do not have to bury them.
Hello.
Hello.
You
We
good?
just saw you fly off screen.
You gooch?
Fanny, why are you here? Go to bed.
I wanted to make sure you were alive. Goodbye.
Oh, it's just the cats. It's just the cats fighting.
Oh boy.
Bye.
Good night, Vienna.
Good night.
Yes, so you will probably have to pay attention to Shrek. I will probably also be rewatching it while I draw because I can do that. But I have seen Shrek, I would say, more than 15 times.
That's too many.
Yeah, it is genuinely.
You haven't
you
seen Shrek.
take that back.
Yeah.
Am I gonna watch
other
Shrek
than-
once?
Other than like special interest, young Patrick watching Home Alone on repeat when I was like 6, Shrek
Sure.
may be the movie that I've seen the most times, like on purpose.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I will definitely have fun and enjoy it. I will be sketching at the same time.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. This will be a
Got an
productive
idea.
night.
I got an idea for another animatic that is definitely like not just outside my ability, but like 2 or 3 steps outside my ability and comfort zone. But I'm gonna try.
Oh gosh, you guys,
Every idea I have.
you guys inspired me so much with all your little drawings. I tried to draw. It was hard, so I stopped. But I did
That's the
try.
point. That's the point of Shrek and Sketch. It's not even supposed to be like, oh, you have to draw things and then share it with us. It's just like get comfortable drawing. You know, have like
Exactly.
2 hours to just feel comfortable drawing, and then another 2 hours with Shrek 2. And by the time we're on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, maybe you're comfortable sharing stuff.
Ideal. I can't. The idea of seeing what you want to draw and then translating it.
No one does that. Nobody
Yeah.
can do that. That's a
Okay.
myth. You think that we like if we're like,
Okay.
yeah, that's what I want. It's never,
I'm like,
never what we
how do
saw
you-
in our head.
how do you draw
it's
nose?
literally
I don't know.
impossible.
Well, we'll
It's
see.
the hardest thing, in my opinion, about art, as someone who does it a little bit and is not very good at it, the hardest thing is your taste vastly outpace your ability. So you very quickly get to a point of like, I can't really draw, and I can tell that everything I am drawing looks like shit, and that bothers me. And the only way to actually get better at drawing is to push past that and just keep doing it anyway.
How do you
It's
figure out how to do it?
If
That
you want,
sucks.
if you want to just draw this as a Skullduggery and Valkyrie, you know, go nuts. I don't know if any of you have seen Always Sunny, but
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I love Always Sunny.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever. It doesn't matter about skill level.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's 100% true. Well, we don't have to we don't have to do planning. I think it's a little harder to do it without planning anyways. Also, I haven't had dinner.
Yeah, and I can hear you fading fast. But you know, anybody want to throw out any initial ideas to like start
I
the
do
discussion?
think we need to stop Sarah from feeding
Yes,
him
Sarah
up. I
can't
think we
go
need to have
first.
Sarah there looking scary, but then we have to be like, oh, she's scary, but don't worry, we want to hear you out.
That will probably rely on you having a plan. I think if Sarah knows you don't have a plan, she's like, well, the plan is killing him. But if you do have a plan, Sarah could probably be like, fine, I will go along with this until it looks like the plan isn't working, and then we kill him.
I feel like we need to have good cops only, and then I don't know what we're gonna get from him, like what we even want him to say. I guess a confession, I suppose. But like, I feel like if we just walk in and Sarah and Cal are there, he's gonna be like, "Well, I'm caught," and then he's gonna be like, "Damn." And
no,
then
I
gonna
agree.
Get ghosted.
And I think Mettle could probably present that, being like, we should just be like, oh my god, do you know where Tenna's went? We're trying to find Tenna. Did you know Tenna? And if he's like, no.
People said you spent a lot of time with Tenna. And he's like, I do.
What's up? Like, well, this says that you were the last person to see Tenna. So, like, you seen Tenna? That's my idea. The bad cops, Isle, Sarah, and Cal stay outside being scary. Fish and Mettle can be the good cops, and just like genuinely be like, oh, we're so worried about Tenna. Oh my god, where's our brand new friend?
Have you had any nightmares? It's been really terrible around here.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Nightmare question is a good one because who knows if anyone specific is having nightmares or if anyone else has realized that's weird, because it seems like until you kind of put that together, nobody really thought about it. So I could be like, yeah, I'm having nightmares. What of it? Or like, no, I'm not having nightmares. It's like, cool. Why not?
Yeah.
Because everybody else seems to be.
Why?
Right. With the mocking gum that I have, are you allowed to make people's voices that you haven't heard?
You need to have heard them.
Yeah.
You need to have heard them in order to be able to accurately mimic them. You can do like a voice that's not a specific person if you want to be like, this is my scary police voice or something like that.
Oh, sure.
But
Sarah could do it though.
If you're actually aping a person,
that's true.
Yeah.
But is Sarah a good actress?
That's a really good point.
We'd have to really talk to her.
I am going to keep this information a secret, but I am going to look up in my internal wiki what her scores relating to acting are.
May I then just like entertain you with my fucking concept of Fish as a lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. A couple nights ago, and I'm pretty sure that this was like brought on by fever. I was having like a manic idea episode where I was just thinking of so many fucking things, including Fish as a lawyer. So the idea was, if we were gonna go, confront Martin, we're stopping outside the front where Fish goes, ladies, could I trouble you for a minute before we go meet this creep? Produces a rectangle of paper that they cut or tore overnight. Denier, on the top left corner, could you write as legibly as you can, Department of Justice? And Mettle, on the bottom right corner, could you write co-signed and then name a guy in government who's the Prime Minister right now? And that would have been like a joke that we don't know who that is. You guys go in, and I'll be coming back inside in the time that takes me to count to 400 or earlier if I get bored. You guys are not expecting me. And then so they all go in. And during the time that they're inside talking to Martin, like putting the pressure on him, Fish is outside writing a fake name on the card for themselves that identifies them as a lawyer. And they burst in eventually and go, everyone shut up. And like, the idea was that I'd be doing like an American accent and it would make you all laugh as well. And so like I'd get friendship points for that.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Godfrey, attorney at law, specialist in indigenous negotiation. Martin, do not speak another word to them. Thank God the university sent for me. This could have been a disaster.
This is a great idea.
I like this one.
Yeah.
And my final note is, If questioned about business card being written in pencil on regular paper, we are very concerned about the environmental impact of mass-produced business cards. Not anything else, though. That's what I've got.
Incredible.
Gotcha.
That is amazing. Honestly, something to think about. I think we keep that in the back pocket.
There you go. I agree.
Just the confusion. It could work. Martin's like, I don't know what's going on, but they're on my side.
Well, yeah, just sort of like to
I
get.
just realized you have a forgery kit. That is an item I gave you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes this plan significantly more plausible.
Does I think Vienna said she just thought she had it, but does Isle have disguise self? Or
Yeah. I believe so.
okay. Again,
She
we don't know what
has-
she looks like.
Look at this.
Self.
I just want to do something sneaky.
Reading disguise self right now.
Oh, yes. So I didn't know that spark skin was a like a protection thing.
Mhm.
And so when we finished off last time, and Vienna goes, okay, Isle's going to cast spark skin on Fish, and we all just kind of didn't react to that this whole time because I thought she was going to be setting them on fire.
No!
And so I was just like, oh, you're all just going to let that happen? Oh, okay.
I was
No.
nothing.
He had it coming.
Spark skin makes you significantly tougher and more impervious to danger, and Isle was also purposefully setting up at the back door so that she could be between all of them, but specifically you, in danger as much as possible. And the only previous time she's cast Barkskin is when she was hunting for you and fighting with Kekino, and Kekino refused to leave the battle for safety, and so Isle cast Barkskin on him and then chucked him away so he could be safe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay, well now I'm really glad that it wasn't being set on fire because that would be especially terrible for Mettle.
Yeah.
Imagine. You're like, no, I'll stop.
Also, I realized it would take quite a long time to get there upgrades wise. Mettle can eventually unlock the skills necessary to become that fireproof guy from book 1.
Yeah.
Vindic leather.
Yep, that was his name.
That was his
like
It's
That was his
only
name.
revealed in Maleficent 7.
oh god.
His name was what leather?
Vindic leather.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember reading that because I read Magnificent 7, but
Mel's
God.
girl?
But yes, you can. You will.
Bye.
She
Yeah,
died.
goodbye. Mettle can, through upgrades, reach a point where first you'll be able to give yourself resistance to fire damage temporarily. You will can learn to not be exhausted or affected by like extreme hot and cold. You will eventually be resistant to fire damage permanently, and then in the final stage, you become absolutely impervious to fire damage unless there are some spell effects that like negate that. But you will become impervious to fire damage, but you will be vulnerable to cold damage permanently, which is the equivalent of water, because the guy who is fireproof.
Oh.
Yeah, just continue being allies with the Longfisher clan and you'll be fine, because they're the ice powers.
Yeah.
True. I'm always like, anytime Mettle uses fire, cause I always use it because I'm like, well, this is the hardest hitting stuff that I got, so I'm just gonna be like, oh, fireball.
Do it fall style.
And then I'm like, how does she feel about this? But I don't really know. Maybe she just feels more in control.
There's a certain amount of like, gaining control over the thing you fear, of like, it's not great. And if like Mettle
Probably took
set,
a long time.
yeah, if Mettle set something on fire, that might be a different story. But yeah, we were actually discussing previously. Mooney was like, "Did you purposefully like nerf Mettle for these first few battles? Because the ant constructs were resistant to fire damage, and then you had the guy in the train take away all magic, which included her
Oh,
fire.
literally.
And then I was like, no, Mettle has other spells. Mettle prefers to be a human flamethrower. That
It's
is
just like the stuff. It's just like that's the easiest thing to do.
ever since the first session, and you absolutely wrecked that guy with a flamethrower right in the face. You've been
Lit-
like, this works for me, and you've been going back to that.
Literally. Well, I don't really have like. Yeah, I'm really happy I got Stone Fist now. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna use that more. But yeah, I feel like I don't have enough.
And also,
I do have a gun.
traumatized people
You do
will
have-
fall back on things that have caused them harm because they
upsetting.
go, oh, well, that's
Yeah.
powerful. It was powerful against me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
I think you used Earth Tremor once. You have never used Thunder Wave. You just got Lightning Lure, so you haven't used that yet.
Yeah.
You used Acid Splash a couple times in
Yes, I
the
did like that.
great battle. Produce Flame does do damage, but if you've got the spell points, being a flamethrower is more effective. But yeah,
I'll get there.
you got some other options, but you are
This feels like the best.
You are the
Well-
human bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in a way, but also sad.
Yeah.
Anywho,
You guys need to eat, and you need to
Go to bed.
go
Yeah.
to bed.
I do. Okay. Oh, the kitty's returned.
Oh, yeah, that's Noodle. Can you hear him?
I heard a little meow.
Yeah, he got shut out because he's an asshole.
So let me back in.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, you guys go eat food.
I like your plan so far. Feel free to discuss more in your secret group chat or public group chat. I don't care. You kind of get a sense of what you're going to do when you're coming at Martin. I will say, since Mads, you asked that all of our battles so far have kind of taken an entire session. So just like logistics wise, if or when you end up fighting the Ghost Eater, may take an entire session. So it's possible, based on what you guys do, the boss battle or whatever starts next session, but then it will probably roll over into the session afterwards because we'll have to split it in half. Like, you'll probably know, like, this is the boss battle because we ended the last session with, I go up and
and then I die.
Ghost Eater in the dick or something. So yeah.
Put that down. Okay. Oh God.
And then there's the clear intermission
Yeah.
for extra nightmares.
Love it.
Yeah. He uses the sleep spell to knock you all out and give you nightmares.
And I will eat it up.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
Rennie, I'm sorry about the jobs. But like
Yeah.
It's
better
fun.
things will come along.
Yeah.
I know.
It's true.
It's so long.
It
And I-
does.
AI really hates me. So like I just feel like all of my applications go into the void without a human being reading them. Because
Mm.
when a human being reads them, I got an interview offer. But if not,
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to interview. It's been 3 months since I got laid off. And I had 2 jobs that I went all the way through the interview process for. And I'm like, okay, so is it going to be another 3 months until I get another job that I go all the way through the interview for and not get anything?
In fairness, both of those interview processes were so much longer than normal. She was genuinely interviewing for almost a solid 3 months.
Yeah. I totally thought you had it. It's
Well, it got to the point where they did all the interviews they told her about, and then there was a long pause, and then they were like, we're giving you more interviews past the ones we said, and they're with a bunch of people that you're not really going to be directly working with,
Weird.
doing anything with. She was having